dope sauce.
Hey, hey, hey.
Are we live, people? Let us know that we're live.
Tell us.
We need you to say it in the comments. We got the DC Studios announcement, finally.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. We wanted to go live before Grace Randolph and John Campea went live. That was just the main objective.
Sure.
Koi here for his stream.
I'm so excited.
All right. We just need confirmation from you guys that you can hear us. All right, perfect.
Brandon Bell says we are live.
Okay.
I trust him.
All righty. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. We're going to try to design this a little bit differently for the beginning parts of our live stream. We want to see what James Gunn had to say. I personally did read some of the slate already. I read the whole slate.
I've read nothing. I know nothing.
Koi has not read, knows nothing, but James Gunn did put out a video. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to react to this video that James Gunn put out. Even though I read through the list, I haven't heard what he's had to say yet. John hasn't heard it. Koi hasn't heard it. So
have you read it? Do you know?
I've seen like disjointed snippets.
Okay,
so
you're
I'm in the
middle
of you guys.
Okay.
Basically not much.
Mama bear,
right.
Papa bear, just right.
I was
Let's
busy
find
doing
out.
all this tech stuff.
Let's do this.
All right. James Gunn, here we go.
Let's see.
Hey everybody, I'm James
we're gonna do
Gunn.
this
I'm the co-CEO
James.
of DC Studios. So as many of you know, DC has been disconnected in film and television for a
Before
long
we went,
time.
I was like,
It's
John,
one
there's
of,
no point in
you
doing
know,
this.
our
It'll just take a minute.
We're making it
It'll
cinematic.
take 1 minute.
in real
Because
time.
it worked? Because it worked when I tested it here. 2 seconds.
No,
Okay, let
there's
me-
no 2 seconds.
Oh,
We're losing
no,
it.
this is live.
Grace
I like
Randolph is about to go live, and then she's going to break this all down before us. Then John Campea
Hey,
is
everybody,
yelling at the screen.
But she's gonna go. This doesn't work. This doesn't work. This doesn't work.
What are we going to do?
We are here.
We have to watch this James Gunn video first, and then we got to talk about everything.
and I know nothing. And this has been like Christmas Eve, but it's long. It's been very long.
Oh, John,
right,
you
I'm gonna
have
make
you
a
have
browser
drastically let everyone in this chat
I
down.
know.
I think
Oh,
John's doing his
no.
best. The fever.
I am not.
The fever for
I'm
the
not.
flavor.
I don't
He's
have
got
the
this.
patience for this
All
right now.
All right.
I'm excited for
it's
people to
fine.
watch this back later and be like, what is
What
happening?
is happening
and
right
why is
now?
that redhead very uncomfortable not knowing what's happened? The rest of the world knows these movies.
We are going to go through this slate in a second. We just want to hear what James Gunn has to say.
Hey everybody, I'm James Gunn.
Okay.
I'm the co-CEO
Thank you, John.
of DC Studios. So as many of you know, DC has been disconnected in film and television for a long time. And it's one of our jobs, mine and Peter's, is to come in and make sure the DCU is connected in film, television, gaming, and animation. That the characters are consistent, played by the same actors, and it works within one story. And if something is outside of that, like Matt Reeves' Batman or Todd Phillips' Joker or Teen Titans Go, that it is clearly labeled as DC Elseworlds, outside of
Good
the
call.
mainstream
Elseworlds?
DC continuity. Now, Peter and I have gotten pretty lucky in terms of the 4 projects that are coming out over the next year. First, we have Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Shazam has always been off kind of in his own part of the DCU.
Talk about
so
the
he
Pfizer thing.
connects
Zach
very
Levi.
well. That moves directly into The Flash, a fantastic movie that I really love that resets the entire DC universe. Then to move into Blue Beetle,
Okay.
fantastic film about
Okay,
a
confirmed.
kid who's a marvelous part of the DCU.
Oh,
and then
Blue Beetle's
into
canon.
Aquaman 2, which leads directly into our next few projects, which I'm going to tell you about
Oh,
next.
shit.
Aquaman 2's
Peter
Iron
and
Man?
I, along with
Blue
a
Beetle?
group of very talented writers, have started to map out an 8 to 10 year plan
know any of
of
that.
what DC Studios will be in film, television, and gaming. This first chapter is called Gods and Monsters. Now, this, what I'm about to tell you, is a part of the first chapter. It's not the entire first chapter. The first project is Creature Commandos.
World War II.
Creature Commandos
Damn.
is an animated series.
Nice.
In all the episodes. Something we're going to do that's a little bit different at DC is we're going to have characters move into animation, out of animation,
So these are like
usually having the
monsters.
same actor play their voice as who plays them in live action.
Oh, that's great.
Fantastic.
That's
Fantastic.
great.
Waller. This is a story of Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis.
So she
Viola
stays
Davis
post-Flash.
is going to team up with members of Team Peacemaker, and this is a story that's been created by Crystal Henry, who did Watchmen, and Jeremy Carver, who created the Doom Patrol. It is a fantastic
Wow.
story that's out of this world, and I can't wait for people to see
Hire
it.
comic
for
creators.
Next up is the big one, the true beginning of the DCU. This is called Superman
Legacy.
Being written by me. I'm in the middle of it. I'm having a great time doing it. And Superman will be
Your face,
released
boy.
into theaters
that-
July
is that the
11th,
All-Star Game?
2025.
Yep.
Okay, the next
Frank
thing
Wiley,
is a
Grant
big
Morrison.
premiere HBO television series called Lanterns. This is a story of a couple of Green Lanterns, John Stewart
cool.
and Hal Jordan, and we have a few other lanterns peppered in
actually
there.
catch
But this
that.
is really
Kyle
a
Rayner.
terrestrial-based TV show, which is almost like True Detective with a couple of Green Lanterns who are space cops watching over Precinct Earth. In it, they discover
True
a
Detective,
terrifying
damn.
mystery that ties into our larger story of the DCU.
Whoa, that's
Yes.
It's a movie called The Authority. The Authority.
There we go.
No
there
way.
we go.
Mind.
There we
It's
go.
based on the marvelous Wildstorm characters we are now bringing into the DCU and will interact with all of our primary DCU characters.
Nice.
The Authority are a group of superheroes
It's gotta be
who
rated R.
think the world
Yes,
is broken
definitely.
and they want to fix it by any means necessary. I think it's a very different look at superheroes.
bold.
We're
So
doing a
smart.
television series called Paradise Lost. Paradise
Woman.
Lost is a story of Paradise Island, usually known as Themyscira, which is the birthplace of Wonder Woman. It's almost
Yes.
like Game of Thrones with Westeros.
Did you read this
but
comic?
with
Yeah.
all of the
Yeah. I love
inhabitants
Paradise
of
Lost.
Paradise Island. The introduction of the DCU's Batman is the brave
And the
bold.
bold.
Brave and Bold is the story of Batman and his actual
Genius.
son, Damien Wayne. This is
Oh
Genius move.
shit,
Whoa.
Damian Wayne's
Great
gonna be
Genius
in this.
comic book
move.
run.
Good
Damian
timing.
Wayne
Recent.
is my
Good timing.
favorite Robin. He's a little assassin who Batman tries
So
to
the
get in
family's
line.
We're starting with a
established-
bat family.
That way, that's so smart.
Beginning of
So
sort of
smart.
The Bat family.
Yes.
In DCU.
Oh my God,
He
that's
said it.
what
He
I
said it.
wanted.
Booster Gold.
That's what I
One of comics'
wanted.
Really popular cult heroes.
Booster
He's a fascinating
Gold.
guy. He's a loser from the future who uses future technology to come back to present day and become a superhero.
Nice.
Blue
so that
Beetle's already
people will
in.
Love him.
I only
It's
heard
basically
about-
Blue Beetle's
the
canon.
superhero story of imposter syndrome on an HBO Max series. One
for
of my
James
favorite
Gunn.
comic book series from last year was Tom King's run on Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow.
Such a
And
good
so
run.
we're going to turn that into
Yes.
a big science fiction epic film. Now,
wow.
Superman
What?
is the guy who was
Nice.
sent to Earth and raised by loving parents. Whereas Supergirl in this story, she is a character who was raised on a chunk of Krypton. She watched everybody around her perish in some terrible way. So she's
know
a
how
much
much you
more
love that
jaded
comic.
character.
It's so-
And that
it's one of my
brings me to
favorites of all
last
time.
thing- the last thing we're going to talk about, a very dark horror story in the origins of the monster who is
Oh my
Swamp
God,
Thing.
there's so much
You know,
to
Yes.
totally
discuss.
outside
Give me
of
the
rest of
Swamp
the
Thing.
DCU. It will still feed into the rest of the stories. Anyway, those are the
Alan Moore's
stories that
gonna
I can
hate
tell you
that.
about right now. I've loved the DC characters since I was a child. They're incredibly important to me. I knew that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to do something very different. One of the things that's very important for me in all of these movies and TV series is that the director's vision and the vision of the writers and all of the creators is unique and something special. Storytelling is always king. That's all that matters to us. And I want to be true to those
But
stories. I want to be
crossovers.
true to you guys
Easter eggs.
and really give you something different than you've ever seen before. Anyway, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you watching. I hope
Genius
this was exciting
choices.
for you because it's really exciting for me. And I can't
yes.
wait to start to dive into these stories with you guys on this grand adventure. Thank you so much.
Tom King has been tweeting, working on Hollywood stuff, can't talk about it. He's probably writing that Supergirl movie. Like,
Yeah.
Dude.
that is one of the best Supergirl runs. Tom King is one of the best people to be involved in your sanctum. And like the choices of all these picks, these are all very different than anything Marvel would do. These are all leaning a lot more adult, which I think is way better for these characters.
Yeah.
It is a broad array of supernatural to cosmic to ground level. It's teams that don't need setup movies like The Authority. You can just dive in, and it is expansive in a way that allows your universe to feel rich and whole without having to be interconnected looking for Easter eggs. Like every one of those picks is the strength of DC in that Wildstorm and Vertigo and your Justice League, they all feel different, but it's universal in one. That is such a fucking slate. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like that was better than I hoped.
Yeah, that was awesome. I read the titles. I read the titles, but
My expectations were 12, and that was a 15. Sorry.
I only read the title, so I was like, I have familiarity with this. And when I heard Brave and the Bold, I was thinking to myself, is this John? Can you do me a favor, John? Can you pull up some? Can you like grab screenshots of what James Gunn was talking about so we could sort of like hover through?
Yeah.
I had screenshots pulled when I read the titles, but I didn't realize James Gunn was going to provide
They
the
also
best
give us-
photos you needed.
He's had some time with them. He's had a little bit more time.
Yeah. So, when I heard
Hey,
Brave and the
everybody,
Bold, I
I'm
was
James
like,
Gunn.
okay,
I'm
well,
the
Brave and the
co-CEO
Bold was
of
like a
DC
comic series
Studios.
before
So as many
Batman
of you
took
know,
over the Brave
DC
and the Bold, and so I was like, maybe it won't be Batman. Maybe it'll be like some weird James Gunn choice of a bunch of like
Some
random
1940s comic I don't know about.
mishap of other vigilantes coming together. Sometimes Brave and the Bold are just associated with like Justice League from time to time.
Dude.
And so then when I heard, okay, it is a Batman story, I'm like, oh, sweet. But I wasn't expecting Bat Family
So
at all.
Like that's the smartest thing you
Yeah.
can do is because that's what the fans have been lobbying for. But it also separates him from we've had 9 Batman. Like this is the best way to be a different Batman.
Yeah.
Like you make it the Bat Family. You can have Nightwing and Bloodhaven. You can have Damian Wayne's story. You can also already have like Tim Drake established as killed by Joker, which gives you an established like run on Joker's Batman relationship without doing what Matt Reeves just did because he just said that's separate. That's the best.
Yeah, it's amazing. John, which project are you personally most excited for? I'm going to challenge you to pull up a photo while you're also talking about
I am
this.
always.
I'll try to grab some photos myself right now, John, to help you out here.
I am always
we
a
could
sucker.
just scroll this. That's
for-
brilliant.
I am always a sucker for a Swamp Thing, and to see Swamp Thing. You know, they've tried to bring it to life multiple times. They had the show that was sort of beloved by some, but crashed because it didn't get enough viewership. I've always been looking forward to this side of the universe, and
Yeah.
this again, jokes aside about Alan Moore, I think there's a lot you can do with this character, and it is one of those things where I don't know. I like the monstrous side of these superhero universes. I always have like, Solomon Grundy or characters like that on my mind. And so seeing that we would do a Swamp Thing and how that could further expand the universe, and especially the idea of Swamp Thing being a part of the universe and not just like, a sequestered Elseworlds entity, hopefully would be sort of a neat thing to me. Or just, I don't know, full disclosure, I don't know much. I'm not an expert on Booster Gold, but that just sounds like so fun.
Dude, he is a blast.
Like
and
the little I know about that character, that sounds like a
Chris
blast
Pratt
and a
might
half.
get to stay working with James Gunn because he's Chris Pratt.
Really quick, I appreciate everyone who's here right now. If you guys can leave a like, that would be very much appreciated. We are going to be going through the chat. We just want to discuss our thoughts first, since this is our first time learning all this. So we just want to kind of discuss some quick stuff. Then we're going to focus on you guys in the chat, and you guys will continue to dictate the rest of how this live stream will go. You know what I really liked about the Creature Commandos unveiling was when because they were like a World War II characters, and it consists of like monsters and shit, like literally like a Frankenstein's monster, vampires and stuff. And what was really cool that he made clear up front for the sake of continuity, because I do like Star Wars has done it several times now, where you do, well, I don't know about several times what they do with Bo-Katan, but I like when you do keep it. Okay, let me rephrase this. What's interesting to me is how they're going to start it off animated, and then we're going to see that same voice actor become live action.
Yes.
And to establish that up front, I don't know of that ever happening. Usually it's kind of just an exciting venture when they decide to do that, or when it's in reverse, when they decide to take the live action and make them animated. I think it's really cool that they're like, our first thing's going to be Creature Commandos. I know it's out of this world, but then they're also going to be in live action. I think that's a really cool way to go about it.
I also think as far as launching a slate, it's genius because you could have had that animation be done in secret for how like this could be so deep in development, and then you add the voice actors. Like this could be almost ready to go soon because they do have a year's worth of movies on the docket. Like that, those are already cooking.
Yeah.
Also,
for sure.
what a bold. By the way, Flash resets the universe, and then we've got Blue Beetle to start. Like just casually, Flashpoint is a genius way we've said from the jump, and I've the 38 videos where I've talked about what I would do is Flashpoint resetting. They just confirmed that, but that's how they can also keep like Amanda Waller. That's how they can also keep some actors, and so it's really interesting that we're gonna have Blue Beetle kind of be our gateway between universes in this year. So technically the DCU starts this year while James Gunn's also able to make it so Superman is the Iron Man of the greater DC universe, which is interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting that they said that, because I think everyone's speculation with Jason Momoa was that Aquaman's done, he's going to be Lobo. That's like where everyone's mind was going.
Yeah.
But there seemed to be no indication at all that Aquaman is done for.
He just
it seemed
said,
like the
like-
exact opposite.
Yeah.
That like Aquaman 2 is actually going to be the kickstart for our universe.
Which
Yeah.
was so interesting. 'Cause
Yeah.
the first one made $1 billion. Somebody's like, why would you get rid of that one? Like, and
Yeah.
also Jason Momoa is like very happy seemingly. So I think all those celebration videos were like Aquaman
Yes.
3. Like they
Yeah.
said, like not Lobo at all.
And then Superman Legacy, because Superman Legacy, I associate that with the Superman animated series, and I was like, "There's no way that they would do," because in the Legacy of the animated series, there was it was like Darkseid had tricked Superman's mind into thinking he was like a child of Apocalypse, and he was doing like evil deeds, and then eventually when he comes back to Earth, he's like, "I'm not actually evil."
Do not
and
feed
I'm like,
the evil
I
Superman
highly doubt
anymore.
It's going to be the first Superman movie. But the photos that he's pulling here were from All Star Superman.
Yes, one of the best Superman runs of all time. His picks, like not to be selfish or narcissistic here, but oh my god,
Do
I
it,
love
Coy.
every one of his picks. Tom King's Supergirl, one of the best like Kryptonian stories. Period. Superman or Girl or anything.
Yeah.
The way they're theoretically bringing in Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart is a great way to satiate the OG fans of Green Lantern, but also make sure the people that like the modern cartoon or like the modern Jon Stewart, like Hal Jordan is a beautiful Golden Age character that doesn't quite work in the Green Lantern mythos of today. Jon Stewart is the Green Lantern of the day. So if you've got an old cop, new cop, if you've got the lethal weapon, too old for this crap, man out of time, Hal Jordan, which is how I interpreted the True Detective, was basically one cop is a little removed and one cop plugged in, is how I would do it with Space Cops. And it also gets rid of all the propaganda of the world, and you show that people have flaws. So you got Hal Jordan, maybe Mr. Glenn Powell, and then Jon Stewart, I don't know, John David Washington, playing these characters in a show where you have the time to actually suss out what Green Lantern should be. If you give it the right budget, this could be the thing from this first slate. Like, that's genius.
Yeah, I think it was interesting the way how he was pitching it though, because you said the True Detective thing, and I understand what you're saying in terms of like the characterization, but the genre in which he was talking about it, because I think it's oftentimes a common, because while Hal Jordan especially can be a lot of fun, with Green Lantern, I guess I wasn't expecting such like a serious
True
investigative mystery thing, and I'm like,
Time is a flat
that's
circle.
fascinating to
Yeah.
me. It's such a great approach and something different, but it also keeps that buddy cop element that a lot of us were sort of hoping for, but maybe perhaps not in as much of a fun thingy.
I just think that using those two characters is really smart because I love the whole Green Lantern Corps. There's a lot of things to do, but pairing them is a really great way to cake and eat it too because we haven't really had a good, sorry Ryan, you know it, a good Green Lantern movie. So like we need
Yeah.
that.
No, I think he stands up for that movie a lot.
Oh yeah, no, he's a big fan.
He's offended
He just
that you
watched it
said
last
that
year.
right now.
And like also the choice to have, if you look at this actual announcement, they mentioned just as many comic creators as Tones, and they also. This isn't shot. This doesn't exist. They used comic book imagery, which is consciously or subconsciously going to finally normalize it. Anytime I put comic book imagery in a thumbnail, video does garbage. Anytime you try to plug a comic book, it shuts down the entire algorithm. You can literally see in some of my videos, as soon as comics be discussed, like there's a dip. Comic books are why this exists. James Gunn, being an actual comic book fan, means I remember like a year ago. Remember when the Batman came out and there was like those looking at the image of the art. Look at the art. Okay, you remember when the Batman came out and I had plugged those 3 comic book arcs, and then like a week later, those same 3 were mentioned by DC, and I was like,
Yes,
look, they're finally
yeah.
acknowledging comic books. James Gunn is going to do that from the beginning, so we can finally normalize the medium. I get that comic book adaptations are $1 billion industry, but the actual books should be a way for people to enjoy them outside of that 2-hour window. And if you make this imagery a more normal thing, that's going to just help push that forward, and I'm so excited.
I'm so excited too. John,
Yes.
talk
that's my
about the
name.
authority.
The Authority. I am an authority on The Authority. And this sounds... No, I mean, this sounds very exciting. And one thing I've been thinking about is the further we branch out into these different comic book universes, the further we expand the galleries that the common person is going to be introduced to throughout these. Like it's a dice roll, and that is both a risk but also exciting to me. Because, yeah, this is a property. This is a series of characters that I am not very familiar with, which can often be a risk. But at the same time, I think think the idea of a whole new team, somebody who can significantly come in with a different tone. This sounds like it's going to be a darker. You guys said it has to be R-rated. And especially with all the, sort of looming that the Justice League and all the sordid affairs of the Justice League movie had over the previous sequence, it seems cool that we would have then just a whole new team to look at who will have a whole new impact and set of ramifications on this world. So me as a viewer, I'm like, you're going to have to make me care about a whole new league of powered people in a world where there's just tons and tons of that. But at the same time, I have faith that the team here can make that happen, and I'm excited to see what that shapes into.
Well, this team, they play by their own rules.
Sure.
That's why they're the authority.
Sure. And that's exciting to me. That seems like something
they're not Justice League Dark, but they're like a dark Justice League.
Okay, sure.
I see Justice League Dark maybe in the next wave.
Yeah, anti-hero Justice League.
Justice League Dark was like cooking with Guillermo del Toro not long ago. And like if they can do this broad of a slate, then you can actually solve a lot of the problems of the like homogenization of a shared universe. The big issue you're gonna hit in any situation, like it's the problem with like all these startups. If you think there's infinite growth, we're seeing it happen with streamers, we're seeing it happen with the internet at large. Infinite growth's impossible. So when you've got a shared universe and you think it's going to accelerate at the same rate forever, you're inherently going to reach a point where it feels stagnant. The beauty of this slate is everything is so unique to itself that you can then plug in a director's actual vision. You can actually let writers and directors create their own thing over here without it feeling like it sullies the rest, and then you can choose to go further in that direction or not. Like, this is an actual infinite expandable universe as opposed to everything has to be like, remember that guy that knew Norman Osborn? Everything's in the Osborn basement. Like, this is the opposite.
If you guys are just joining, I'm seeing some of this in the chat, is that we reacted to the video that James Gunn said up front, and we're just scrolling through it. Then we're going to be going through the chat in just a little bit, because we know we got actually a fair amount of super chats. Thank you guys. But there's a lot of you guys in the comments right now, so thank you so much for being here. Before you hop on over to Grace Randolph and Campia, I appreciate you guys being here right now.
You stay with us. We know comics.
And so sounds like the Wonder Woman 3 movie's not coming for sure.
Dude,
they're doing a Wonder. It's Paradise Lost as a TV show, live action. But the pitch for this sounds very different than that of the comic.
Yeah,
which makes a lot of sense. Like I said, like when I first read the titles, like I didn't tell Coy what the titles were.
I was sitting here.
I didn't tell Coy what the titles were, but I was like, a lot of these titles sound like he pulled names from graphic novels or comic runs, but it's probably not even going to be that. Even for like Gods and Monsters, which is a very Justice League kind of title. There's even an animated movie called, because this chapter is called Gods and Monsters, the DCU chapter 1. And there is, you guys got to.
We're gonna watch it soon.
It's eventually. I think it's like the 23rd movie or something.
We'll get there.
But
we'll
it's Justice League Gods and Monsters, which is like a. I'll let you guys. It's like an alternate take on a lot of the superheroes. That's needless to say. It's a very different thing.
With Brendan Fraser.
But even with Paradise Lost, this sounds like a very different thing. Like, is Wonder Woman even going to be in this? It sounds like I was a little bit lost on what he was saying there.
It seems like she is because of the Paradise Island tie-in, and I do think they're going to be very expansive, but I don't feel like they'll alienate people by having Themyscira not feature Wonder Woman. But it could be a way to set up them as like that's the third act. Like I could see it being like a real origin to that world. And also Paradise Lost is a legacy arc. Like Paradise Lost is later in the journey of Wonder Woman. So I can't imagine it starting there. In the comic tradition, like you're saying, it's going to vary. But I do think it might be like Civil War, where in Civil War, that's not the comic book, but the heart of it is still that conflict. Maybe the heart of the conflict of Paradise Lost is somehow incorporated into this new origin for that character.
I was reading, too, that he was saying how...
Oh, wait, someone's saying it's before Wonder Woman. It is a prequel. I missed that. I was too excited to see it. He said it is...
Yeah, that's why I was like, I don't think Wonder Woman...
That's why I'm saying the third act.
D.H. Gal Gadot!
Yeah, I just might as well. Well, he gave a lot of praise for the Flash movie, by the way. I saw that in a Variety headline that it's one of like the best superhero movies ever made, according to James Gunn. Another thing that I think is really cool about the way that this is launching, where with the MCU specifically, if we're going to play a little bit of a versus thing right now, even though I love the MCU very much, so you guys know this, is that the TV shows seem to have always fought for as much of an equal resonation in terms of connective universe, you know what I mean? And this is kicking off with a TV show, and they're gonna and part of this announcement of its first chapter was the other TV shows, which I think is really cool because it's saying these TV shows are going to be just as significant of a viewing experience in order to get the entire chapter versus the show's coming later down the road and be like, people tune in for this show, and then a bunch of shows come out and you're like, where's this show gonna matter in the movies? You know,
you keep saying Zombie Strange is the same zombie. That's a different zombie.
Yeah. And
Well,
so
and I hope they can keep that consistent of having the actors all be across every medium, because Marvel has tried that and it's worked somewhat.
and it's smart to establish the Elseworlds up front, like make it really clear.
I also think that they're going to benefit so much from being the one to do it after seeing some of the things not work. Just on a business scale, James Gunn's been there from, he kind of caused the cosmic pivot because Guardians was so good. He was part of the brain trust of what a shared universe can be, but he's also seen how Marvel has had a Disney Plus launch that was like, trust us, this matters, but it's over here. And HBO Max is so much more established. It's more established than even the Disney universe. HBO exists already, so you have less groundwork to get people to subscribe to a thing, to watch your tie-ins. This feels like you're already halfway there because of the already infrastructure of HBO Max mattering, of the world. So I think they're going to be able to get ahead faster of having that coordination.
True. Booster Gold is a character I know that you've been championing for a very, very long time. I think you said Zac Efron.
I did.
Right? Would be a
I
great
think
Booster Gold. And I feel like he would be a perfect Booster Gold, especially for that kind of... Because he's a character who has like a lot of ego at first, and he becomes humbled over time.
So he's the one I said first. When there was an announcement of James Gunn taking over, I said that there was going to be the Trinity, and then some characters that people don't know, and then the weird, crazy James Gunn stuff. Well, he opened with a crazy zombie army like thing as the first animated series, but I think Booster's that great middle ground between the James Gunn deep cut and the mainstream, in that he's a character that could be like, your Zac Efrons, your Glenn Powell's, your like handsome guy, charming, but he's so smarmy and so self-aware because he uses social media to make himself feel better about himself, because he's not a good guy.
Efron wouldn't be terrible. Someone said it in the chat. No, Efron would be great.
You watch We Are Your Friends.
You watch 17
Down
again.
to Earth. You watch 17 again. You watch Neighbors 1 and 2. Zac Efron he's too handsome, and people don't like him for it. He's very talented. But he's a guy
but also tied in with Blue Beetle, too.
It works out perfect. Yeah. And if it ties into Blue Beetle, that's the right age. You can have him be from the future. And like, I love the idea of an insecure guy from the future coming back to get his ego stroked, being played by like someone too handsome for their own good.
Yeah, definitely. Johnny, can you scroll down a little bit more?
Been praying for Booster.
So we talked about Swamp Thing. We talked about pretty much everyone, right? I want to make sure that we got the chapters. Can you scroll a little bit on the timeline here, John? Just want to make sure there's something that we missed. Oh, Supergirl. We haven't talked about Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. I really want you to talk about this one, especially because I know you're you were a big fan of this comic.
I think this is one of the comics that I like just blindly yelled, you should read this. Like, I think this is one of the ones where I was like, and it wasn't related to a thing. It was just like, I'm so excited to have to share this. And Supergirl is a character I think is really hard to get right because...
Really quick.
Yes.
He didn't specify, though. I mean, sometimes we were getting a little bit excited, so I don't know if we missed it. He didn't specify if it's going to be the same actress from The Flash, did he?
He did not. And she's not on, like, she retired from that character, but she could come back, I imagine.
I mean, the fact that he's, like, talking about The Flash. I mean, he's saying
The Flash is ending, though.
He's saying it's a DC. Yeah, exactly.
Right. So with Flash ending at season 9, I feel like when they had
No,
those...
No, the movie.
Oh! No. I was thinking of...
I mean, it's still kind of ending, you know?
Well, it's all ending.
It sounded... When you said the sentence, it made sense at the time.
Guys, this is why they got to start over.
but no, the Flash movie, the Supergirl in there.
Yes, I don't know if they'll use her because of the way they phrase that ending things. I feel like they have the opportunity to have Flashpoint end whatever stories they launch there, because you also got to think Flashpoint had more Michael Keaton stuff than less Michael Keaton stuff. We don't know how much Ben Affleck stuff. Like, we don't know how Flash lands. We just know that now it does in the universe, and they just did reshoots. So I could see where if they wanted a new Supergirl, they could have ended that Supergirl's take in that movie with those reshoots, and this could be a launching point, because it sounds like they're going to have the best of all worlds where Flash is going to end and start things. I don't know if that means they're keeping Ezra Miller. I don't know if that means they're keeping the actress who plays Supergirl. Like, we haven't seen it yet. That said, this comic book is a beautiful way to have an already established Supergirl that's removed from the planet. She's literally traveling the cosmos. She's basically, it's a genius story. She's protecting this girl who saw her entire family get mowed down violently, who only wants revenge. And this girl wants vengeance, and she has this sword, which is in the image. And I love that Supergirl in this is brusque, but not noble. She's willing to strike vengeance and be violent because she's trying to protect the innocence of this character. And that's that perfect middle ground that people want with Superman. Is there's this thing that people want, a violent Superman, but Superman is trying to prevent others from needing to do violence. And this entire story is about her willing to shoulder the burden of doing this horrible thing for this innocent girl to keep her innocence. And it's only 12 issues. It's very accessible. Tom King's one of the best writers in the game, and this art is the whole way through. That's not just cover art. It is a staggering bit of work. I highly recommend Woman of Tomorrow. So good. Also, it's a great commentary on Supergirl not being called a woman. Woman of Tomorrow is a play on that whole concept. It's her maturing. It's a walkabout story through violence, through cosmos. Perfect.
Yeah, it's a great.
I love that.
Great sell on the comic.
I
by
just
the way.
pick up comic books.
That's a fantastic sell on it. Well, what I think that's cool about it too is with Supergirl and Superman, it sounds like he's kind of just going to pluck you into their world. You know what I mean? He's going to pluck you into them versus, and sometimes James Gunn doesn't seem like he's too concerned with doing like a full-on origin tale.
No pearls.
With a lot of these characters, like even with Guardians of the Galaxy, we're not really going to, you see how they came together, but you're not doing a complete origin for any of those characters. For the Suicide Squad, you're not doing a complete origin for these characters. Like they're already established, now they're coming together. And it sounds like he's going to be doing that for Superman, and it also sounds like there'll be probably a version of that for Supergirl as well, where there's already an existence happening with them, and you might explore some of the backstory with them, like you kind of have to.
Do you remember that I just had this epiphany, because I keep looking at this art, and it keeps making me cry with happiness. I said the only thing I wanted out of James Gunn's slate was him to reference comic book titles and not give us too much information about the movies. He did that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because all we know about these is tone via comic stories, and we literally know plots, but not. This is how you do a slate. Like, this is what I've wanted Marvel to do for 15 years, because like John gets to be excited about Swamp Thing because of his emotional connection to the Alan Moore stuff, but we don't know what storyline. Like, we have all the data we need to be excited. This is like when they cut the perfect trailer that shows nothing, but you just feel the emotionality. Like, I don't know which Authority arc they're going to do, but I know they're making an Authority thing. This is what, if media companies are going to bow down to the need to make constant content, this is how you do it. Because people want stuff to talk about. This revealed nothing and everything.
Well, and also the establishment of Elseworlds in fun in ways as Marvel has, as the MCU figured itself out over the course of several phases, it seemed like that allowed James Gunn to go, okay, I know how we're going to start this then.
I know what I would do.
Let's make the TV shows definitively canon right up front.
Yep.
And let's establish at Elseworlds
right up front.
That way we don't have to get confused over everything. So that we
like that video I made 6 months ago saying DC Black Label.
Black Label, yeah.
They're doing it because he even mentioned Joker and the Batman, which is the first two I said need to stay over there. And again, that's going to be better than Marvel.
You did tell me in private that you thought he was going to try to roll over Robert Pattinson's Batman into it.
I said they shouldn't. I said that's the one thing to not do.
I have it on camera.
I said the one thing not to do. I said never.
I don't think you did.
I said that doesn't work because the groundedness of that Gotham is the one thing that separates it from the other Gothams, because it's a psychological
that
trauma.
opinion it was existing in my head because I thought you told me that.
No, I said that's the one thing I don't want them to do. Maybe you're hearing the opposite.
John's the fucking Lex Luthor.
Yeah, he's like, no, the one thing I don't want is that. I've been very public about that. Because the one thing that doesn't...
Who told me that? I thought when we were running a test on this thing that we were working on.
No, I said Pattinson's Batman should never meet Superman because it erodes the entire psychological warfare of the supernatural element is intelligence, and the supernatural element of Gotham is that all of the...
Definitely didn't say all that. That's really fancy. I like the sound of that.
Well, no, the archetypal thing...
That was all just to get us here.
The archetypal thing that makes Batman's rogue so unique. Everyone thinks that Batman's rogue's the best in comics, and I agree. But the reason that in Spider-Man, but the reason they're so perfect is because Batman's rogues are the exact psychological mirror to what he wants to be. If you look at Batman's Harvey Dent, that's the justice he can't be. If you look at Batman's Joker, that's the chaos, the freedom of not having these rules. If you look at Catwoman, that's being a thief as opposed to being just and good. If you look at literally all of the best characters in Batman, Mr. Freeze, that's him loving Nora as much as Batman loves Gotham. There's a passion to his villains, and if you take away that passion by introducing things that are too supernatural and too otherworldly, the passion doesn't become believable to the viewer. The eye line of Pattinson is that it feels grounded enough that the supernatural elements of the psychology could exist.
Yes.
So don't do that.
Was it Eric
Leave
Voss?
it over there.
Was it Eric Voss? I'm not sure.
Maybe it was Eric Voss.
What-
I know you get us confused.
What I'm
was
going
that
to
Trader Voss.
What I'm going to be very excited about, now we're going to open up the chat in just a sec. What I'm going to be very excited about, too, is to see how he goes about, how James Gunn, these guides going about. And also, like, one thing we have is, like, we have the projects
Eric
announced.
Voss. People are vouching for me. Sorry to interrupt with you betraying, thinking.
I'm sorry. You're
We're
just
different
you're the
people.
shorter, buff white guy version of Eric Voss. What am I supposed to tell you? So when it comes to, am I going to have to separate? See that super chat coming. What I'm excited to see too is how are they going to make it clear cut what they're going, like how you separate the Batmans, because you still have to communicate this to a massive audience. Like one thing he was saying a while ago, James Gunn, when it came to, wanting to make sure everything was connected, is the fact that, sometimes even with Peacemaker, he was saying that sometimes people come in and go, wait, which Joker might be interacting with him, though? Like I thought that he'll get comments of people being confused still about the universes. So even though he's establishing Elseworlds up front, he is also establishing we're going to make a Bat Family movie or the Brave and the Bold. So how will that be communicated, and how different will that Batman be? Because over the years, our Batmans have progressively gotten broodier and broodier. Started off with Christian Bale, just to Ben Affleck to Robert Pattinson, and they're just exceptionally broody.
Yeah.
And now, will this one kind of harken back to more of a Kevin Conroy? So I think it's smart to have a Bat Family situation, because whereas Robert Pattinson's is very much still like year 3, I imagine, where Batman Part 2 would be.
Yeah.
And this one would be way more experienced. He has the son. He's had a Robin by this point. You know what I mean? So, and had a Batgirl also. And so by that point, that Batman would be a very much more mature, more experienced. I imagine more of a Kevin Conroy versus a Robert Pattinson.
I also think that it allows us to explore a Batman, like I said at the top, we haven't seen yet. Because
Batman who bangs!
Yeah.
The Batman who bangs.
And eats cat.
He's just got a bunch
Brave
of
and
sex
the Bold
toys
at
and
the
set of
bar.
spikes. Is
James Gunn's Batman does things that HBO Max's Batman doesn't do, according to canon.
Is anybody at all surprised that there's no Kingdom Come style approach to the resetting of things?
I don't know. Kingdoms Come definitely for Batman. You see this family he's got going on?
I think that
Mic drop.
is the best version of what you're describing without sacrificing the
Yeah.
tone. Because I do think that this
up
Batman
in
can
the
work
chat.
with the Justice League.
Yeah.
I think the Justice League can incorporate to a Batman with a family, and that's also another archetypal parallel, right? Like, Batman never had a family. That's why Damien Wayne is an interesting mirror to him, is because he gets to raise the child that he always wanted to be. Like, his vengeance is he sees that in this character. Damien Wayne's
Finn
a great way to...
Wolfhard, right? I want to
Totally
make sure.
Finn Wolfhard.
Finn
Gotta be
Wolfhard
Finn
is
Wolfhard.
Damien Wayne. Guys in the chat, do you want Finn Wolfhard to play Damien Wayne? Or how about Timothy Chalamet?
There is one...
They're my go-to picks. John is going to... I think that's perfect symmetry.
There is one actor to play Damien Wayne. One
I'm
actor to play
adjusting
Damien
on
Wayne.
both ends.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Aiden Gallagher. He is already Damien Wayne.
Aiden Gallagher?
Yeah,
Oh,
dude.
from
Umbrella Academy.
Umbrella
There
Academy.
we go.
Five.
He's already
Five.
a 7-year-old going on a 35-year-old.
No, John, it's okay. 'Cause we should probably read some of these new rock star. Our goal today was just to go live before everyone else went live,
And we
That
did.
was our only goal. Was we got a lot of people going live today. We got to make sure we go live before everyone else goes live.
Hey, you know who read the comics and the pictures that James Gunn used? This channel. So if you want to stick around for some actual knowledge, we got you.
We got you. We got you. All right, let's go to the chat here. No, let's go. Let's catch up on some of the supers, and we're gonna open up to the regular good old live stream chat. But I like the way this went because this will allow me to go back and actually make chapters.
That's nice.
That was the purpose of doing the
what are
live
you
stream this
excited
way
for?
because I was like, I want to make sure I can have a decent playback
Someone
here.
can come back and watch this
Yeah,
with some semblance.
because I never know how to make chapters for our live
We'll
streams.
just cut out the first 3
This is-
minutes when
this
we're
is
all trying to get
the
playback.
most organized one that we've had here, and then
Hit
but
that like to support chaos being structured by Greg
Aiden
and John.
Gallagher actually would be
Right?
a fantastic. That is a great pick.
He's got
He's
a
a great pick, yeah.
precociousness. He's got a certain like hoity-toityness that Damian Wayne has to have.
We haven't even
Think
talked.
it'd be
Okay, yeah, Comic Historians live on Twitch, not on YouTube. The platform's ours.
I don't know.
The platform's ours.
What's a Twitch?
All right. John's getting it organized. Thank you, buddy.
Sure enough, we're here.
That's the Eric Voss stream.
I know. It was
How's he doing?
here.
What's he
There we
talking
go.
about?
I don't know why
Alrighty.
the dates messed up.
Resident Nerdman, thank you for the super chat. Creature Commanders, let's go. Love James for the deep cuts. What a way to start
That was
off.
the deepest cut. I could not even fathom.
I think that's a very fascinating. I was kind of hoping for a live action take on it, honestly. But
we might get it if it does well, if those voice actors are cast for both.
Well, he said animated version at first. But, John, what kind of creature are you hoping to see in Creature Commandos? Spitball it, go.
I just want more man-bats.
There we go.
Man-bats.
Can you get a man-bat as a creature commando?
I think there's a way to get it going.
Let's do it.
You got ghouls and zombies and vampires
Give me
and stuff.
Solomon Grundy.
I've been reading
Where's my boy?
reading the comic book American Vampire recently. It's great.
Ooh, Scott Snyder book.
American
Great
Scott
Batman
Snyder,
writer.
Stephen King.
Yeah,
it's really good.
solid book.
Yeah, yeah. Let's move up here. Michael Loco, thank you for the super chat. Can I fill dead air with my pitch for DC?
Please.
Yeah, put it in the chat right now.
Yes, absolutely.
I think, yeah, the one thing about Brave, because I'm seeing you guys talk about it in the chat right now, the one thing about Brave and the Bold that I think opens it up is you can get a little bit more of with the James Gunn world, a little bit more of your weird, eccentric characters. Like you could get a Mad Hatter in there.
Yeah.
Or I don't feel like Mad Hatter would work for the Pattinson world, but that would totally work for the Brave and the Bold world.
I
You
think
know
would
what I
also
mean?
like Clayface and certain
Clayface,
characters.
you
Yeah.
could do Lazarus Pit in Brave and the Bold.
Yep.
Yeah, with Ra's al Ghul or Raz al Ghul.
Ra's al Ghul.
As Christopher Nolan likes to pronounce it, dude.
Raz.
That's not how you pronounce it. It's Raz al Ghul.
just Liam Neeson
It's
correcting him.
If you guys can leave a like, that'd be great. But yeah, that's one thing too that I would that I love about the separation of Brave and the Bold and Pattinson is that you can go with the crazier sci-fi. But then again, you do have Matt Reeves stepping in, going, I could see Mr. Freeze being in our world.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep it going. Lion of Demise. We haven't really talked too much about Amanda Waller, so thank you for this question. And thank you for the super chat. How fitting is that Amanda Waller is a part of Gods and Monsters? LMAO. Yeah, that is a very fitting choice. He seems to really have an affinity, especially for Viola Davis is her name, right?
Yeah, Viola Davis.
Viola Davis. He seems to have a big affinity for Viola Davis as well. Like it seemed like when he was just doing the Suicide Squad and then Peacemaker, he really wanted to make her inclusion. Even expanded upon her character by having her daughter be in Peacemaker.
Right.
Sorry if I spoiled that for you guys, but he even expanded upon her character by like making her a mother. Something that you wouldn't really think about with Amanda Waller, that she's a mom.
Yeah.
And so
Who's her husband? What's her domestic life like?
Batman.
Of course, you know what? It makes sense.
So yeah, I think having Amanda Waller show up in this, having her, is it's going to be a series?
I think
TV
he
live
said
action.
TV
A
live
live
action, yeah.
action show.
Waller TV live action.
Which will be an interesting, like, anti-Nick Fury show, like kind of an anti-Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Seems
like a corrupt, like, running things behind closed doors, but for evil.
But at the same time, like kind of the imagery that he was flashing on screen seemed to evoke that she herself was having to get herself out of a ditch.
Yeah, I mean, she's
Yeah.
handcuffed in the image they chose.
Yeah.
I definitely think that relates somehow to this. Maybe she doesn't have the connection she used to, and she has to do it on her own.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
A Waller on the edge.
I'm excited for that.
I'm a Waller on the edge.
Mikkel Rath, thank you for the super chat. Freaking Supergirl, man. My favorite DC character and the Tom King run turning into a film. Man, that hit me so hard. So excited, sending love from the UK. I think Supergirl is going to get a proper reinvent. I do feel bad for, what is her name? Sasha Cal?
We haven't even met her yet.
She might suck.
No, as in like, it sucks that
the
we
Flash girl, the Flash girl might
Who
suck.
knows what she
She might be a piece of shit.
But
and
if
you
she's
probably
good,
know
maybe
her
she'll carry on. I don't know. No, I just feel like it's. I can't imagine being an actress cast as Supergirl and then being like, we're doing a Supergirl. Like, we don't know if she's the same Supergirl. But man, that's rough. That is rough. Hopefully she can carry on as Supergirl. We'll see.
But at the same time, I am curious. Like I know a lot of times you talk about the casting and then people get political corrected and all this stuff. But they did hire a Latina girl to be Supergirl in the Flash movie. So I am wondering if will they just go like back to white blonde chick and what that might be met with.
I mean, no
that be
matter
net
what,
poorly
she's an
received?
alien, so it's always weird. It's always weird when that's the one people get mad at, because it's like, I don't know if
Yeah.
skin color would be a factor when alien, like, biography.
I think get a Latina
Alien
girl and make
biography.
her play a white blonde girl.
like
Yeah.
Jessica Alba's
Yeah.
Storm.
Get a
Make
white
it go.
passing Latina. Yeah.
Let's keep this going. The Hour Man, John, please take it away.
Having Damien Wayne be the main Robin is honestly genius because we can then learn about the rest of the family retroactively, just like in Son of Batman, the animated motion picture Coy and I just beheld. We got a Dick Grayson at least in that
On this
one.
very channel. You can check it out and see us get very excited when Nightwing shows up, just like we will in the movie when Nightwing shows up. Dylan O'Brien.
See, I like that the focus of how we pitch Brave and the Bold is going to be on Damien Wayne and Batman, but it is going to open up the doors to see like Dick Grayson and Barbara Gordon. Like you could see a whole bunch of characters. Red Hood by that point should exist.
Very well established. And I think it's like what they did with Daniel Craig's Bond is how do you make Bond work for today and how do you separate it from the other Bonds? You go a very different direction. We haven't had a Robin since Chris O'Donnell. We've never had a Damian Wayne paternal relationship with Bruce Wayne. We've never seen Bruce Wayne have to be that kind of relation to anyone, and that is how that Batman works with the Justice League way more than a Robert Pattinson Batman because he already has to have a very different tone by his nature.
True.
It's just perfect. It's genius.
Are you trying to make it bigger?
Yeah, a little bigger. All right. You got to think. A lot of people watch this on their phones, you know?
Yes.
Hi, phone folk. We live
you
in
got this,
phone.
John. You got this, John.
Yeah, buddy.
It's better. Yeah, for a phone, it's better. You can read it better. Let's see here.
Bananas.
John, take it away.
I wish we would have gotten a Static Shock series instead of a Waller show. I don't think her character can carry a show. I think her character can carry a show. However, I am with you. Static Shock would be Trey legitimate, and I hope that it can happen. Maybe like Shamik Moore or somebody. Get him in there.
I want a Static Shock movie because I'd be worried about the budget of some of the imagery on a show. But Last of Us is showing what HBO Max is willing to flex. So I would love Static Shock in a way, but I'd prefer a movie.
The Last of Us IP is so massive, it makes sense that you would go like... You would go with
Those Saturday morning kids grew up, all right?
Yeah.
Static Shock has just as much
But I agree with you. Static Shock riding around on a trash can would look better in a live action.
I'd want to see.
Like,
I'd just be
I want
worried
to
about
see it in 3D. That trash can lid's really coming at me right now.
You guys know how much I love Jessica Jones, but sometimes her powers are and then landing, and I don't want Static to be like and then like I want Static to be flexed.
Well, he's already had the animated show, so let's get a live action movie now.
Yeah,
you know?
it's time.
I think a Waller series can work in an interesting way because you have somebody who is uniquely positioned as a non-powered person, but who has to be the fish out of water, but the non-awkward fish out of water, constantly wrangling and dealing with these people.
Should be like Daryl from the MCU.
Yeah,
but a hard ass who knows what they're doing. Yeah. And then I feel like that'll give you a significant amount to peel back in terms of character layers.
Her powers
too.
work for the budget. And that's intelligence.
Got a doubla from Dakota Jones.
Thank you, Dakota.
One Virus Effects. For me personally, Swamp Thing and Lanterns, True Detective Season 1, as you say in your subsequent comment, is still the best season of television. And I just love Swamp Thing. I feel like Brave and Bold can be Son of Batman, but better.
Yeah.
Agreed.
True Detective Season 1 is so brilliantly esoteric while giving you so many themes. If they can do something that's like a space cop cosmic existential crisis that show was, goddamn. Like
I feel like also Swamp, because he was talking about how it's going to focus on the horror aspects of it and for Swamp Thing, but Swamp Thing's had so many failed attempts at this point. But I heard that people actually liked the show. It's just people weren't watching the show.
No, it had mood and and was like well produced generally and seemed relatively faithful.
Did you see it?
I saw the pilot, yeah.
Okay.
someone said Koi for Booster Gold, and they got my number. I'm available. I'm ready.
But I think, you know, especially with James Gunn's sensibilities on shepherding a project like Swamp Thing, he would be able to, I think, find that right tone for just the right tinge of self-awareness.
Yeah.
For a monstrous creature that loves to protect plant life. Like, you got to find a right pitch for, because I think if you go like maybe, I don't know, I could be very wrong. It's a while down the road. If he goes like too aggressively horror, actually no. I think I might want that. Now that I said, I'm like, it would probably be cool to go. But for your main character, you got to infuse it with heart. I think that's all I'm getting at. Is you got to have Swamp Thing have a little bit of heart.
And there's nothing James Gunn's done that doesn't have heart. Like, that's the beautiful thing. Even Brightburn, which is horrific, has a lot of heart.
He could find the tragedy, almost like a universal monster. I think he could find the tragedy behind Swamp Thing and really focus on that versus.
Yeah, Slither has heart and humor, but is also gross and icky and all sorts of other things.
Super is so violent, and it's got heart.
Yeah, and I mean, Swamp Thing, you've got the sort of tragic elements and the ecological elements, too, so there's plenty you can imbue with emotion as well as spookiness and monster movie vibes. The Hour Man.
Thank you, Hour Man.
They are introducing all aspects of the universe, the cosmic side, the grounded side, and the supernatural side. This is genius.
Genius, for sure.
It's also
Genius.
not shiny. I really like that they're showing the side of DC that isn't what everyone's used to. I like that a lot of these characters are way swampier. Like, there's a lot of grit and grime here, and I think that works.
That's not even a mention about a Justice League. You did say that we would get that, didn't you?
I said that the way...
I need to remember what our conversation was.
I'm
pretty
You
sure
need to
you
pull up
said-
this video and we
I need
can
to
watch
find
it
this
live.
test
I said the best thing they could do with bringing in a Batman was make one that fits in the Justice League and make the third movie in the new slate involving the Trinity be a Justice League, but establish the characters first. But I believe that if they establish an older set of characters,
don't
they
know
can
what
do
you're
it faster.
talking about.
That's what I told you.
You're fucking insane.
I think you're mixing up me and Eric Voss again.
No. Cody York, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Coy, read that, please.
I personally am super excited for The Brave and the Bold, as well as Lanterns. It seems like they are going to make the Lantern show a more dark and gritty mystery, which will be very interesting, and I agree, because there's a lot of crazy stuff in space.
Who's your Hal Jordan pick?
My Hal Jordan, I mentioned him for Booster Gold, but my legit Hal Jordan pick, which I've tweeted, you can check the tapes, it's Glenn Powell. The man's a pilot. The man looks
Nice.
like Hal Jordan. The man has the
that's
chin
good
for it.
call.
The man could play a franchise for a lot of movies. The man loves comic books. The man is very
I
invested
thought
in...
you were talking Glenn Howerton. From
Always Sunny
in Philadelphia.
Glenn, no, he's,
I was like,
Do it.
I was
He's
like,
my
interesting. PX kind of a snarky, fast
Oh,
talking.
that's so fun. No, he's my Reed Richards. Glenn Howerton's
Glenn
my
Howerton
Reed.
would still kind
Glenn
of work.
Howerton, Reed Richards.
He would semi.
Glenn Howerton's my Reed. Glenn Powell is my Hal Jordan. I love that you also had a moment where you're like, he can fly.
Stop typecasting Glenn Powell as this pilot guy.
He is a great one.
This would be his
Devotion,
third
Top Gun.
pilot character.
He can actually
Too many,
fly.
Too many pilot. Oh, he can actually
Yeah,
fly.
he got his license when Tom Cruise
Tom
paid for them
Cruise
to go out,
forced
and
him.
then he kept going, and then
That's
Tom
fucking
Cruise gave him
wild.
like a bunch
That's
of like,
fucking wild.
yeah, they hung out and got pilot license.
Good to know.
He's
All right.
ready.
John Boyega is my John Stewart.
Ooh, nice pick.
Redemption for franchises for John Boyega.
I think Finn Wolfhard or
For both
Timothy
thrones,
Chalamet.
they make John Stewart a white
Caleb
guy.
McLaughlin. I only know the cast of Stranger Things. April.
Gaten Matarazzo.
Sadie Sink as
also,
Supergirl.
Aiden Quinn.
I think both those choices.
Joseph Quinn.
John Boyega has an inherent charm that's got a funniness to it. Like, he's able to be
Yes.
quippy that John Stewart needs. And I also think Hal Jordan has an almost punchable face. Like, Glenn Powell's a little too handsome, where he's got like that
Yeah.
You can
golden
punch
age.
Glenn Powell's face.
Like, he's got a thing. He's got a Ken dollness, and I think that works for Hal Jordan.
That's very.
Ryan
I'm
Gosling.
sure he'd appreciate that comment.
Ryan Gosling, Hal Jordan.
In a good way.
Hal Jordan, like a nice guy's Ryan Gosling. Hal Jordan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
CD Foo.
Thank you, CD Foo.
You always wanted a war of light, and with the slanted show confirmed, I can only pray I get to see live action Atrocitus.
I don't know this. I will fully own. I know a lot of things. I actually don't know the character of Atrocitus, so I'm going to own that. I try to know everything.
Such a Ron Burgundy movie. I don't know this.
I just want to. I'm not going to lie and pretend to know a thing I don't know.
Like I've never seen someone just say I don't know this with the utmost confidence. I don't know this.
So all out war fought by the Green Lantern Corps.
Okay.
Yes.
What's Atrocitus? The thing I don't know.
Atrocitus.
Oh,
Ooh.
that guy. Okay, I do
Yeah.
know him. I didn't know his name.
Yeah.
Apologies.
Oh, he looks so cool and spooky.
yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Look at how cool and
the
spooky
Green
that
Lantern
guy
lore is so deep. It is beautiful
Yeah.
tapestry that if they make its own thing would be really special. But yeah,
Yeah.
this guy I know visually didn't know his name. Apologies.
Wow, Coy.
I know.
I mean, it's cool because James Gunn showed what he could do with. I mean, that's the thing. We keep seeing James Gunn, and he will be guiding this the same way Kevin Feige guides the MCU. But, you know, the thing we don't know is, like, who's writing these films? Who's directing these? I mean, we know he's writing Superman, but, like, who's directing these films? He might be directing
He
Superman,
only,
too. But-
he only referenced maybe one or two other people, yeah.
But there's, like in the casting, there's so many more filmmakers who are going to be involved with this. Right now, it's just James Gunn that is the main creative association for it all. But I'm like, wow, who are going to be the filmmakers associated with these projects that are going to have to bring these to life? Because at the end of the day, they'll be more involved than James Gunn will be, you know?
And like I said, more comic book leaning in because you can get tone early. And like 2 years from now, when these movies come out, if you want to read those comic books, you can get the tone now without the directors attached.
That's so true.
Alexander Haskey in the chat. I'm so sorry. He said Dave Bautista's Damien Wayne, and that got me.
John McCoy, thank you for such a generous super chat. I believe Gunn said Justice League and Justice League Unlimited play a large role in shaping these plans. He also did talk about how he took a lot of inspiration from the animated properties as well. And that's what's really cool is going to the actual animated department for all these things. It will be interesting to seeing how it all unfolds. I'm excited. The focus is world building and storytelling. That's true. We're not. It doesn't look like we're getting a focus on. I mean, we didn't really know this if you compare it to the MCU about like Thanos until after Avengers 1.
Yeah,
you know,
the
so we're
turnaround
like,
smile, yeah.
what's going to be the big baddie that unites the league? Essentially, you know, where's that all going to be going? And I'm excited for it. But I'd be down to more too. He was smart to not go Peacemaker season 2. The Suicide Squad 2. Don't worry, those are coming, guys. Don't you worry.
Chris Pratt, he's in something.
I know my wife has been
Booster
unfairly getting crucified on Twitter for no reason.
Has she?
But, yeah, man, people just attack her. Just because she's married and people are like, he's just gonna keep those alive because of her.
She's so talented.
And
She was
she's
such the heart of Peacemaker.
That's the crazy
if she
part.
was,
Is
like,
she's
not
actually
good.
really good too.
Like if she wasn't good at the role, it'd be one thing. But like she's excellent.
No, I see it happen a lot. Usually like thousands of tweets a day. Just
I
about
think
her
they're
now.
such a good couple because it's like neither of them is undeserving of their talent and success. So it's like, oh, good, that makes sense.
Yeah.
People are stupid.
Yeah,
Get more talented if you want to complain.
but it's like Gunn is so much better looking than her.
He's got that white, that
Papa
silver
white
fox look.
Like,
Yeah,
she's just
totally.
not like, oh man, he really downgraded.
What a victory lap for a
Because
nerd like James
she,
Gunn just running DC and being like my incredible actress wife.
yeah.
yeah.
Raccoon Shampoo.
Good name.
Here we go. Gunn mentioned video games again, which I'm still iffy on. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. What characters do you think would make the best video games? Souls like Etrigan, make a cyborg game. Ooh, great question. Other than like the main players of like, I mean, this is the most cliche answer you could think of, but I've been looking at those the footage that they have of those like Unreal Engines of Superman zipping around the city.
Oh, yeah,
'Cause
Superman.
we're still yet to get like a truly great gripping. You can be Superman flying around
N64.
the world, and then also make it, but then also make it in a way where it feels like challenging, and there you have real villains you got to fight, as opposed to just being so super powered. Because I understand the dichotomy of having a Superman where, like, oh yeah, that's great to play as him for like 20 minutes, but there's no challenge because I'm just zipping around and I can beat everyone. Because you got to like have a balance of both. But I think if they can, I still don't feel like we've gotten that Superman game.
Dude, just
So
make a
that's cliche.
game out of Superman and Lois.
Yes.
Use all those
Just
plot
a
lines.
drama text game where
Yeah,
you pick
just Taro,
Right.
fight Taro, then fight Bizarro, then.
If you're still here and you haven't left a like, please leave a like. Helps in the playback.
2 games I think are very ripe for the pick, and Etrigan I actually think is one of them because he's a demon. You could make a horror element game. Also, his time would be interesting. You could have like a health bar where Etrigan's time as like in power would fade and stuff.
Yeah,
That'd be
that
fun.
would sell big numbers.
A demon game?
Yeah,
You know what's
the DC
popular?
People are going to be like,
Demons?
who's that?
Yeah,
You're
they
gonna need
just
to-
announced
You're going to
the
need
authority,
to put
Greg.
Spider-Man on the back of the
authority.
wall.
Hear me out.
You're gonna need to
Crazy
put Vulture
taxi,
in the
but with
trailer.
Batmobiles. Crazy taxi, but
I'd
it's
play
just
it.
Batmobiles.
Actually,
I'd play it.
That's not a bad
All the
pick. Like
Batmobiles.
Simpsons Road Rage
Yes.
with Batmobile. That's actually not a
Gotham,
bad pick.
my
Or
second
Metropolis. Yeah.
The most video game friendly character of all of them is obviously Green Lantern because you could pick your Green Lantern. You've got all those beautiful mythologies,
You
all
could
the Green
custom
Lanterns,
pick a lantern.
and then you could also make your own lantern. And it's so visually like
crazy online
the
game, yeah.
green is so ripe for video game graphics, and that power, like the willpower, could deplete in one health bar. Your health could be another health bar. Like. And going to space and flying solves the Superman thing. I think Green Lantern's the best game that hasn't been made.
What about an Elder Scrolls style Wonder Woman game?
Ooh, that'd be fun too.
Some MMO open world swords and sandals.
What about a
thing.
Sims beach game where it's them escape?
Sims Gotham, Sims Themyscira, Sims Metropolis.
Lewis Cox. Thank you for the super chat. If Chris Pratt is Booster Gold, who would be Ted Cord, a.k.a. Blue Beetle?
Solo Maraduena.
Sounds like Sholo's going to be Blue Beetle.
I think he
moving
stays,
forward.
but if he doesn't, Chris Traeger himself, Rob.
I think it'd be really bizarre if he's not like, hey, we got Blue Beetle coming out. It's going to be awesome, exciting.
And now we got a new Blue
And now we
Beetle.
got a new Blue Beetle to fit in my universe.
Well, technically, he's the second Blue Beetle, so they could have the original Blue Beetle be played by a different character,
but
and then
we got a
therefore.
timeline to follow.
true. I'm just saying Rob Lowe,
Andy
Chris Traeger.
Garcia is that Blue Beetle.
Unless,
There
of
he
course,
is.
we watch Blue Beetle and then there's already a Booster Gold like established, but we just don't see.
Right.
But we just
That'd
don't
be
see
tricky.
him.
Just
Yeah.
get Will Poulter to play him.
He's
That'd be
ready.
great.
He's
Adam
gold.
Warlock was
That'd be
gold.
great. Yeah.
Pull it together.
Jordan Garza, thank you for the super chat, my friend. John, I don't know what that says.
Ruck, love you three so much. I don't know what our cue is, but love you three so much. Just want to talk comics and films one day. So excited for James DC. We finally have hope. Superman theme plays. Do you all think we'll get a Mr. Terrific or Miracle ever read King's runs? And really can't wait.
I think we could get Mr. Terrific.
I
This
think
is a smart
Sterling K.
character.
Brown is ready
For Mr. Terrific? That's not a bad pick.
Sterling K. Brown is like the Mr. Terrific in my brain.
I had a pick in mind, and then I was like, wait a minute. That's a guy I saw on the show Love is Blind.
Sterling was my
That's a reality show. That's not an actor.
Sterling K. Brown was my Martian Manhunter, actually.
Oh, I
but-
like that. Drax is mine. Dave Bautista is my Martian Manhunter because I
Okay.
want them to work together again. He doesn't have to work out all
He
the
doesn't
time.
have
as
to buff
Martian
up.
Manhunter.
Yeah, that's a smart call.
I Mr. Terrific is one of my favorite characters. Mr. Miracle, the graphic novel by Tom King and Mitch Gerards, is one of my favorite graphic novels of all time. Like in every comic book I've read, Mr. Miracle is one of the ones I recommend most. I think it is a very, very beautiful tale of being human in a world of superheroes, especially the golden age of comic books, which is really hard to tell. It's about Scott Free, a man who can escape from anything, who's suicidal, that's trying to escape from his life while being in love still and trying to find happiness. And Big Barda is a great character. It involves Darkseid and characters that are really, really hard to grasp in a really graspable way. So I'd always said like a Jake Gyllenhaal type, someone that's got this really fun, like dejected, apathetic thing that he can play, but he's also really charming and like handsome and likable. So
Dan
he's got both
Stevens.
sides. Like he can be like, yeah, like The Prisoners Jake Gyllenhaal meets Love and Other Drugs Jake Gyllenhaal is my Scott Free. But I think that that's a story that would be a really good thing to do to establish the new gods. So I like that they're doing cosmic and supernatural and all that stuff here because when you then make new gods, it doesn't feel as alien, and then you bring in characters like Mr. Miracle, Mr. Terrific, which I do think they're going to do.
Fair enough, man.
New gods. Matthew Cronin, thank you for the momento di silencio.
That's his first super chat he's ever sent. Thank you.
Hey, welcome. Thank you for your generosity. Mariah,
Mariah discovers the secrets. Thank you, Mariah.
the Bat family are my favorite characters in DC, and I'm so excited for a live-action movie with a fully established Bat fam. How are you guys feeling about this?
That's been my dream for the longest time. Like I've always wanted to see a Batman movie franchise evolve from like a younger Batman. I always thought like you could pick it up right after Jason Todd's death.
Sure.
And then eventually evolve into like old man Batman when he's like, and then it becomes like
Terry
an
McGinnis.
becomes like an Arkham. No, actually, it would be like an Arkham Asylum story.
And
Where-
then Terry
yeah, where all the villains, the rogues gal, like that's the thing you build up to, but you're also building the Bat family over the course of the franchise. I always thought it would be a cool way to do it, but the other version is just started off.
Apparently
Yeah.
that was Ben's movie, was like an Escape from Arkham thing, and then there was
I
also
thought that was just too soon.
oh yeah.
I was
hey, we
like-
just met you. Why are you fighting
Now
everyone?
the Arkham Asylum Rogues Galler. Because if
we
you guys
just
ever read
met you.
Arkham Asylum's a fantastic comic book, and
Serious
but
House?
the I mean, the game is called. What's the game called? Because I read the comic, and the game's very different. It's not the
Yeah,
same thing
it's
at all.
called
Like the
Batman
comic
Arkham
is like
Asylum.
very existential and shit and trippy.
Grant Morrison's like, what if
Yeah.
drugs in Arkham?
Yeah, it's
Isn't
actually
the game just called Batman
sure.
Arkham Asylum?
I think it is.
The
That
game
is, you know, what's a funny, never mind.
isn't it inspired from this?
Yes, and that's an Alex Pardee, and that rainbow with the
Yeah.
teeth that James Gunn wears on stage sometimes is also an Alex
Oh, I
Pardee.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Good to know.
In
Oh.
fact, I have a version of that right
Oh, no
here
shit.
in honor of James Gunn today.
Sweet.
Alex Pardee.
I
Thank
like
you,
that.
Mariah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but Bat Family is super excited. And just a side, but like it's like every time we've watched one of these animated movies, it seems like it's one of the biggest like cheer moments when freaking Nightwing shows up. So
Yes,
like
I want Nightwing so bad.
to have that in a live action
Nightwing's
movie,
my favorite.
to have like a Damien and then the prospect of Nightwing just showing up and stepping in, and
Also,
then yeah,
like we had the Nightwing chest piece way back at the Chris O'Donnell day, which was the closest we've come to Nightwing, was acknowledging Nightwing, and that was like 20 years ago. So I
well,
think
he
we're
put
ready.
the definitive stamp on it. You just can't
Chris
top
O'Donnell.
that. Jay, thank you so much, Jay. What I love, aside from Chris O'Donnell, is that they're establishing that comics, animation, and TV are equally important to DC. hope everyone feels appreciated, especially the artists whose story arcs and artworks they are going to adapt, who are problematically often left out of
We don't
those
need to pay them,
conversations.
though, do we?
No,
No, we
no.
said thanks.
We still don't need them to cut them.
Put
We
'em in
said
the
thanks
credits,
at the bottom of the
size
credits.
four
Invite
font.
them to the premiere.
Zoom
and
past
go,
their name.
Nice work there.
If there's a
Special
post-credit
thanks.
scene, people will see your name.
We don't need to give them any money. They didn't make the film.
Don't you acknowledge them? Don't you
Bunch
do
of
it?
bullshit. But J.K. Rowling deserves all the money for Wizarding World games and stuff like that.
JK.
She's Warner Brothers.
LOL.
Synergy. Come on, guys.
Dude, let's get Harry Potter in the DCU.
God.
Yeah, let's do this.
Daniel Radcliffe for Booster Gold.
Sure.
I like
I'd
it.
watch the
and
fuck
Mr. Terrific.
Daniel Radcliffe can do anything.
Gallic, go. Hey, buddy. Good to see you here.
Hey, man.
Do.
You know him.
Yeah.
Stuff. Woo! This is amazing news. As a
Andres.
DC comic fan, what are your predictions for the next half of Chapter 1? John Constantine and Justice League Dark. I mean, the way Keanu Reeves has been talking about Constantine, you said that's. I know.
I
for
did
sure.
say that one.
You said that they think Constantine 2 with Keanu Reeves
Might start a
Constantine
Justice
2.
League
If-
Dark as a separate universe.
I think it would be. Oh, that's where you're. I feel like they would just keep it Elseworlds.
That's what I'm saying. A separate universe from the
But
main.
if you do Justice League Dark, you gotta have Constantine in there.
Right, and I
Yeah.
would say that you could do either one of two things. You could have Keanu Reeves launch it so it's a team move with Keanu Reeves, which is exciting as fuck. Or you could introduce Constantine as the more British blonde one and make that the team.
Dan
And
I
Stevens.
feel like it would be easier to establish an Elseworlds with Keanu Reeves because he's not the comic version at all.
Right,
And it
that's
already
what I'm saying,
exists.
is like
Yeah.
you can
So,
cake and
yeah.
eat it too with Constantine.
That would
and
be
he's also
really cool.
supernatural as hell, so launching him, all you got to do is have Constantine meet Zatanna, Justice League
And
Dark.
Constantine can be a gateway into having. It would be so easy to fathom Keanu Reeves Constantine having some weird gateway.
Portal
into
and
being-
then go right through.
Go into a new
Fucking
yeah,
Spider-Verse
you
right
totally,
into.
yeah.
He meets Dan Stevens.
Dan
and he's like,
Stevens,
I'm John
Constantine.
Constantine.
That's what I'm
You know you
saying.
could
And
do
you
it,
know
yeah.
who Dan Stevens is standing next to? Detective fucking Chimp.
Boom. And yeah, Justice League Dark. Obviously, we think they're building to that. I think it was really smart to not announce a Justice League movie right up front.
I mean, that'd be like coming out of the gate and announcing an Avengers. It would have felt rushed. It wouldn't have worked.
This is a unique.
Here's my one pitch for the DCU going forward. 5, 6, 7 years down the line, Cavill, Bizarro.
Nice, nice, very well done.
Oh, what an antagonistic move. I love
yeah.
it.
Do it. Do it.
Lighthammer 66. This is from a while ago when we were arguing.
Am I going to have to separate you two?
I was just trying to. I keep looking at the art and Greg's.
Keep your stories straight. Which one of you is
He said,
Voss?
keep looking at the art.
No.
I
Behind
noticed-
the scenes, Greg thought I was looking at me because I have that habit. But I was looking at the art, and he's like, "Look at the camera." And I was like, "But the art is so beautiful."
the entire time we've been looking at the super chats, you've been looking at yourself.
No, I haven't.
I know for sure. I watch it. I
Greg-
was like,
Greg
I'm gonna
knows
point-
all.
I know. I was
You
like,
think
I
you know,
I
but
know
you
Corey's
don't know.
going to bring this up, and I'm like,
looking
I'm
at the art.
gonna reserve this in
looking
the
at the
bank right now.
You think you know your eye line
I'm gonna
and
wait
the
till
positioning of
Corey
your
decides
body.
to bring this up.
You know
you
what?
will
I was
never
looking at the art.
observe as much as this man observes.
We would never really argue on camera.
Just off.
Can you fucking imagine if we had a live stream where we really fought on camera? Like,
Damn it, Corey.
like, this is the
Why are you
most
doing this
awkward
again?
live stream we've ever done.
Replay value off the charts.
Yeah.
No one's getting separated today, but we do appreciate
I would
you.
hate to
Lighthammer.
have that stream. Anyway, Heather Gear, thank you, Heather Gear.
Sending
You're
you
very
love.
dear.
Little
Heather
handsome
Gear
fox.
is an amazing human being. Love the hell out of her. Thank you, Heather, for contributing here. Thank
yeah,
you.
sending you love. Hope things are okay at home.
Kawaii Nancy, thank you so
Hiya.
much.
Hey ya, hi ya.
Rup-
Oh, I love these
Thank
stickers.
you, Kawaii Nancy. Rupert Jameson, Denim Nerd says Gunn is writing too much. Thoughts? No, they're just planning and reviewing.
I think he's
Well,
only
he's not-
writing Superman.
He's not writing everything.
Yeah, that's just Superman that he's writing as far as what they've announced.
Kevin Feige is writing too much.
Yeah, I think this is
She-Hulk
a good
Moon
pick. I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he's writing too. Writing too much?
James Gunn seems like
You
the
sure
kind
Denim
of guy.
Nerd? You sure Denim Nerd said the words "writing too much"?
Or maybe they meant revealing, like
Yeah.
he's. I don't.
Or
Either way.
revealing too much? Yeah.
I don't
Either
know,
way,
I mean,
I disagree.
I mean, it seems like he laid out a slate and they have a plan for the
pressure.
next 8 to 10 years, but it seems like you could easily slip things in between and sort of adjust as you go with what they announced, at least here now.
Can you go to the chat? I want to see the regular chat for a second.
Yeah. Go to the bottom.
Where are we at? Yay.
Refresh.
Yeah.
He wrote All a Creature Commando as well. Oh, he wrote All a Creature Commando.
Yeah, he said he was writing it.
He's also doing Peacemaker.
He's also got a little movie called Guardians 3 coming out in May.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
James
going to be
Gunn.
such a weird press tour on that.
James Gunn, yes, it is. It seems like the kind of guy, though, for whom things
Refresh
like
it again.
okay.
Got another one.
Yeah. he look at the way Peacemaker flew out of his pen. Like he was just like, I just sat down, and then all of a sudden this series came out. He seems like a guy who's like always writing and for whom just ideas flow free. So I don't think he's writing too much.
We look like the most uncomfortable group in the world. Look at us right now.
Well, you're not supposed to see our legs.
Imagine taking a screenshot of us in that moment. We're just like
Got it.
hunched over. I'm like cowered behind
Got
this
it.
laptop.
Got
We
it.
just look like the most uncomfortable.
Is this how you sit in chairs?
Three people.
Got it.
Like all three of us just like, we don't want to have a camera pointed at us.
Spoiler
right
alert,
now.
gaming chairs aren't
This is
comfortable.
fucking awkward.
Also, crossing your legs looks so weird
I
on
want to
camera.
get. I want to get a new chair. That chair.
Crossing your legs looks so weird on camera, but there's way comfier in these chairs. But then I feel like I'm like contorted. Oh, look at us!
Yeah.
Look at us go.
I'll refresh
Yes.
that one last time, and then we'll catch up.
Oh.
Yeah, because we got a
Alright.
couple coming in here. Thank you guys for who have been contributing to the stream, by the way.
Is there also that other thing, or is it just all in this is catch-all? Like, is it?
What other
I have
thing? You gotta be
two,
more specific.
like Streamlabs super chats, or is it just super chats?
There is a Streamlabs link
Oh
in
yeah,
the
let's
description box.
while John's pulling that up, James Gunn and Zachary Levi's recent controversial tweet. I can't be changing my plans all the time because an actor says something that I don't agree with, which is what he tells people at Marvel all the time about Chris Pratt. I take it.
Sure.
He's a great guy.
His heart's in the
great
right place.
I still like Chris.
I
Pratt.
wonder what on screen. I wonder
like
what
the stream, please, people. Thank you.
I wonder what they're gonna do with Shazam 2, no matter what. Like,
Yeah.
that feels like it's one of the ones that's kind of on the edge.
True.
And I don't think that has anything to do with the tweet. I just
Donkey
mean,
on
like,
the edge.
It's before Flashpoint.
I mean, I think Flashpoint's going to be the determining factor for how all this reset moves forward. Hyper Gooch, thank you so much for the super chat, people. I think DC fans did win, by the way, Madame. Ethan Lothert, thank you for being here. Will Tyler Hoechlin play Superman and upcoming movie?
Superman.
Um,
Bringing dinners in a single
Thanksgiving,
bag.
his delight.
Well, I think the benefit of what Tyler has right now, if they want to keep Superman and Lois afloat, is that that's already established as part of like not even a part of like it's technically consistent with the other Arrowverse shows, but it's already established to be its like own Elseworlds thing.
Yeah.
It's like you can just travel through a portal and get to that world, but it's already it's not the same Superman as the same Earth where the Arrowverse mainly resides at. So I think they can keep that show alive, but I don't think he would be the Superman. But that would be great. He's a fantastic pick. I've been trying to get Coy to watch that show forever.
Oh, dude, they
about
just
to
got
start,
Michael
yeah.
Cudlitz to be Lex
Yeah.
Luthor.
Yeah, that's a great
I've
pick.
been
I'm
trying-
very excited
I'm
about
trying
that.
to get Coy to watch Superman and Lois. It's seriously, it's a great show. I think you'd really love it, and it would be every criticism you ever had about Superman. It is there.
If you'd like me to watch it on Real Rejects and react, leave a comment below.
they don't get the numbers even when it's John and I.
Even when it's them.
Hey, they still got like a
watching
year or
stuff.
more for season 3 to drop.
saying
Maybe
there's
if the
2
stars
years.
align, we can all 3
All
react
right.
to it.
Stubble McShave. Thank you for the super chat. If
a great
Lobo
name.
is a part of a movie series, which one?
Supergirl. Just cram him in there as her sidekick. It doesn't have to make sense.
He could be in a post-credit of that world. Because if she's traveling through space trying to defend the honor of someone, going to meet all these bad people in different corners, there's a mercenary out in space that's done some messed up stuff that
Yes.
might relate to the big bad. Because I don't want to give away who the big bad is because I think it's really special in the Tom King run. But at the very end, a mercenary that could know that big bad could be Lobo.
Yes,
It
yes.
actually could work.
That would work. I still think Jason Momoa could be Lobo. He's so made up. You could do it.
It'd be fun.
I would really.
really like that
I
still.
personally like. It would be awesome. I think
Yeah.
it'd be great.
No, Jason Momoa's real.
Pop Gamer 1202. Thank you so much. Never sent a super chat before,
Welcome.
but I'm a proud Reject Nation member. Just say
Citizen. I'm a
Some
proud United
member
States of
you
America
are, I'm
member.
sure, had his support. With this first chapter being Gods and Monsters, what do you think is the plan for the chapters beyond? I mean, we've kind of talked a little bit on that, but Coy, what project do you really hope gets pushed? I mean, I do want a Nightwing movie. I would like I think Nightwing, it's for some reason, like people love him,
but never got his
still
time.
doesn't quite get the respect I feel Nightwing deserves, and he is the shit.
I feel like that is the best grounded character that hasn't gotten the love. So I think that's very important for the next wave. But I honestly think the way they go is they build out and then they kind of come back together for New Gods. And I think that like the thing that makes DC so interesting is these big supernatural elements with cosmic that like Marvel's got Thanos, but the dark side element has so many like pieces that build to that. So I want a Mr. Miracle, I think, the most because it's kind of like Nightwing in cosmic. Like there's a grounded supernatural to him. And I think that's DC's like bread and butter.
See, I think it would be sick to do a Nightwing movie where it's like you already have, it seems like they're already going to have your Bat family established, so you could tell the Dick Grayson Nightwing origin. You could have him as Robin on screen via flashback or something like that and intertwine that with a present-day Nightwing story and get the best of both worlds.
I also think Bloodhaven needs to be introduced, and they mentioned Bloodhaven in the Batman. I'd love to see Nightwing get his own time in this new universe and have it be the storyline Tom Taylor's doing where he gets Alfred's money when Alfred dies. Spoiler alert, Alfred gets killed. And basically he does what everybody's always wanted Batman to do, which is like put the money into the city, and you see the corruption of like what it is to try to help the infrastructure financially. So it's a really interesting commentary on Dick Grayson doing that, which Batman never did because he doesn't have the same trauma that Batman has, but it's also like how that also doesn't work. So it fixes a lot of plot holes of Batman while making Nightwing his own thing.
I never realized this, but Goofball pointed out that this color symmetry is the Nightwing symmetry.
Finally, it is a comic book chair. Garth,
thank you.
McMurray, thank you for being
That is a good point.
Coy, I'm glad Gunn didn't just use semaphore flags. Swamp Thing, Batman and Robin, Superman, and Supergirl harken back to the 80s and 90s movies.
I joked that we don't know the format this is going to be, so I said it might be Carrier Pigeon or a Fleet of Foxes, and that is a play on that, and I would have enjoyed some flag
How about
signals.
Smoke
Some
signals?
super chat Jensen
enjoy
Ackles
that.
as Batman. No, Atomic
I would
X.
love it.
I think Jensen Ackles would be a good Batman. Actually, he might be the right age.
He's the
for
right
that
age,
now.
I
Yeah,
think.
yeah,
He's got that
for Raven
jawline.
Bald, yeah.
Loves the character.
Voice.
I think he'd be great.
A lot of people. There was a conversation in the chat where someone said Jensen Ackles was overrated, and I was like, everything in my power to not just jump in there. That's like just not a good
I love
take.
having like a little comment once in a while that acknowledges the regular.
We got
chat.
you, regular
So that-
chat.
and that way they're like, oh, they are listening.
Yeah, they're watching us talk crap.
Elasto-Man.
Plastic Man is the one announcement I was hoping for that we didn't get because Plastic Man have been in development forever and they've actually had scripts and development for it. And I do think that's a James Gunn character, like that world. I think he's coming.
Al Renshaw, which of these projects you think will be rated R? Authority.
Authority.
Authority has to be rated R. And I feel like
Give me Swamp Thing R.
Swamp Thing, depending on the budget, because
Yes.
TVMA
because
Waller.
Gotta make that money back.
But I think Waller show for sure would be R-rated in for whatever television is. Like what do you
MA. TVMA.
HBO does that TVMA? Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, because they still have
I don't
TV.
pay attention to that shit.
still
Yeah,
run
people
stuff on
watch
TV.
I just watch TV.
Yeah.
HBO still is broadcast on televisions.
I just watch stuff. I'm like, oh, this is violent. Whoa, this is
What is this?
surprisingly violent.
I just turned this on. You can do that.
But yeah, DCO. That's true. That's a great point, Earl Cheese in the chat. That DC owns all these characters for film rights, so they can do what Marvel couldn't.
Yeah, and TV.
They don't
They've
have to
been.
buy any characters back. Yeah, it's true. That's a great point.
I'll trade you Ego for Negasonic. Like
hey,
those conversations don't happen.
Michael Loco, here's the pitch. Thank you, Michael Loco. I remember you said fill the dead space with a pitch. DC does things based on different crisis events. This way, you can have the side stories linking the what ifs and change the cast every crisis, so that we also get new interpretations of the characters. Very similar to what you have said before.
I think they have a more established way to go out and in and implode and contract their universe whenever they want.
Like
also,
Batman.
like Batman and establishing an Elseworld at the
I'm
jump.
talking about how he made the Bat family.
Oh, I see. It's contracting and people die and then he goes back to But like the way they're establishing the Elseworlds at the top means they can have more canon. They can literally recast as needed. They can do side stories as needed. They can literally have multiple. You could have multiple Green Lanterns in canon and out of canon. Like it allows for all the things and directorial freedom with Elseworlds. So I do think a crisis is going to clean things up. That's why they exist in the comic books. And James Gunn is following the blueprint. I've never understood how people don't look at comic books coming out monthly and go, this is serialized. We should do movies and shows. Disney finally did, but they're starting a universe with serialized content that has in and out of canon because he's trusting in the audience and he's following the blueprint of the comics these are based off of. Genius. Crisis, I agree.
I think conceptually, sometimes you can read a comic, like conceptually the idea is like perfect, but you know, like a lot of these comics do not translate. Like you can't just go, let's just do exactly this comic. Not everything is Sin City, you know.
Most aren't.
And not
Yeah,
everything
most-
should be.
Yeah, most aren't.
Also, what do you call a Batman that skips church every Sunday? Christian Bale. Thank you, Vegeta.
Holy
Prince
shit, that's a good one.
That is a good one, Prince Vegeta. I'm
That's
gonna
a fantastic
screenshot that.
one.
That's a good joke.
Pin that one,
Quality
goddammit.
work.
No, pin that.
I am pinning that.
That's an amazing,
That's
amazing.
yes.
I love that.
That's
I've never
good.
heard that.
That's good. And thank you, Aurensha, for defecting from Campia and being here. TJ Perry from our old school
me tell you-
days. What it
Let me tell you
do?
what Gunn.
What it
To the extent that my
Was that
campy
a thing?
impression. That's my campy impression. Half-hearted campy impression.
And our first topic today, my favorite YouTubers.
I'm going to repeat myself.
He's so
I'm going to
much-
repeat myself.
so much taller in person.
He is a tall guy.
He's so tall.
TJ Perry, what's up, dude? Homeboy from St. Charles. My favorite YouTubers, Koi. I did a Tiger Woods-esque fist pump when Gunn's announcement referenced the comics they're based on, and then I cheated on my wife like Tiger Woods.
Yes, I had a sex addiction like
I
Tiger
wore a
Woods.
red shirt and boned who I wanted.
And I went broke because I spent all my money.
Still
in a
great at
divorce
golf,
settlement.
Wikipedia comic fans, I made a video calling out Wikipedia hosts because I said that this would be the way.
Ouch.
Fuck 'em.
Koi.
The way that James Gunn can
Koi,
make.
there's too many of us out there. What are you doing, man?
Someone called me an elitist because I suggest people read. But I think the thing that James Gunn
Reading is the tool of the rich.
proletariat book. No, but the way that people can actually reward the work is people that have read the comics will have an advantage in commenting on it, like us here. You guys have read some of the books I've recommended you check out, and like we can talk about it. But
Yeah.
all these people that are like, "Oh, what's that? I got to look it up." They're going to be behind because they're only going to have the cliff notes, which anyone can acquire. I do think there is a reward to actually doing the work, and then you're getting your expertise from experts as opposed to getting your expertise from someone yelling excitedly on TikTok.
You know what's-
like it's a beautiful thing. Thank you.
My main issue is I
Let's
have a
go.
hard time remembering titles
That's fair.
and artists. It's
Yeah.
like that's the shit. I'm always like, I did read that. What's it called?
And I'm not saying that other people shouldn't make content. I'm just saying if you want
Yeah.
expertise, it should be from people that know it versus people that pretend to know it. That's my only issue. So thank you.
I mean, sometimes so much to know. I've been reading more graphic novels lately.
Well, I mean, the Authority is a great example, and like Mr.
Yeah,
America
I like-
Collects
I-
is a graphic novel.
What was it before Authority? Something Shepherd?
Stormwatch?
Stormwatch.
Yeah. When you said Shepherd, it threw me off before. I was like,
there
what?
was something before
Yeah,
Authority.
Stormwatch,
Yeah.
and that was
The
that
Ice
whole.
Cream Brothers.
Told you, I don't know shit, man.
And no, it's just titles. You know.
Clark Kent. I want the Justice League back.
That's
They'll
be there.
They'll come back.
They'll come
Yeah.
back.
If you're still here, please leave a like.
There's no way they won't come
That's a
back.
very ironic name to have your Justice League back.
Can you
Superman
guys tell
does
me-
I miss my friends.
Can you guys tell me how the streams for New Rockstars and John Campia and Grace Randolph are going?
So
Have you
good.
seen Paul's video? Heavy spoilers. I heard it's a good one.
You just plug other YouTubers.
That's what I do.
That's kind. That's
VG.
do it.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
Will they
Oh
make
yeah,
it-
Planetary too.
Will they make a Teen Titans, you think? How about Blue Beetle? Ooh, that would be interesting. I feel like that would be on the reserve for a while because I don't know how much they really give a shit about this stuff, but
Yeah.
they're evidently building up young Avengers. And so part of me is like, they want to like kind of not want to have your Teen Titans thing come out around the same time. I think down the road you'll get it. Long
Yeah.
story short, yes, I think down the road you will get Teen Titans. It's an essential part of many of these characters.
Yeah, make a Runaway style
Like
show.
Teen Titans, especially like Robin's journey before becoming Nightwing, he was a member of the Teen Titans.
He went to the movies.
And I
Yeah.
think Beast Boy and those characters are very beloved and haven't had their film live action
Yeah.
yet. So I think that's like, I want to see Raven.
You
I want
think
to see those characters.
Peacemaker season 2 is shelved, FYI. No, he wouldn't
Nah.
do that. His hot wife is on that show.
that's the only-
Francesca S. Thank you, Francesca. I'm pretty sure the show is going to be the trial of Amanda Waller. It's just going to be a legal drama.
She-Hulk will show up.
Her ruthlessness, yeah.
They'll do
Catch
no
up to
law.
her.
That Murdoch, get them all.
It's going to be her and she want to get laid on Tinder. I wonder what characters will be involved. Will he pull from his Suicide Squad?
Oh, definitely. At
Oh, that
least
would be
Viola
neat.
Davis
At
just
least
swiping,
marginally.
just swiping on Tinder.
It might just be the Suicide Squad versus Amanda Waller.
I would love to see the Suicide Squad like getting their revenge like on Amanda Waller controlling them, and it might be like that situation where she's feeling the comeuppance. But I also think it'll be a place to have some fun cameos. Like Sean Gunn played Calendar Man, and I think
Oh,
that
yeah.
characters like that would be a great place to put them in this world.
I think do a Polka Dot Man show. Come on. Do a one-off
David.
one-off movie. Do like a weird one-off animated movie.
The origin
Do like
of
an
Timothy
Eraserhead
Spallsheet's Polka Dot.
style.
Yeah,
polka
yeah,
dot
something
man,
really
yeah.
bizarre and strange. Jack Sampson, thank you for the super chat. I think Reeves' Batman is so special, and I hope a new Batman doesn't overshadow Pattinson and create audience bloat. JDW for Jay Stewart and Harvey D. Who's JDW?
John David Washington. Oh, John David Washington. That's what I was saying
yeah.
for Jon Stewart. I agree.
Yeah, sure.
Pattinson, I think, is playing such a different world that it won't conflict because, again, choosing the Batman that already has Damien Wayne establishes an older take. It establishes a more in-the-world Batman, which is better for the Justice League. I think Pattinson's Batman gets to stay a David Fincher movie because of this announcement. I was afraid without another Batman that they would try to blend Pattinson, as my concern was, but also it would kind of muddy the waters. So if you keep it over here, the Penguin Show, all of that stuff can exist separately as an Elseworld. So I think this Batman announcement is actually better for Pattinson's Batman to exist.
Yeah, and then you can get something.
You were looking at yourself?
Oh, I was that time. That was totally true. That's
Only that time.
I mean, that time I'll acknowledge it. That time I'll give you the credit for noticing. That time.
It's been going on for. I just wanted to wait.
You see yourself moving and it's distracting.
It's just like,
How do you not?
You're like talking to a mirror. I
Have
love
you
it. I
gotten
love
used
it.
to that? Like, how do you not see
I
yourself?
think it's weird.
There's a giant screen. This screen is what, 40 inches? How do you not see yourself move and
One
notice
thing
you?
I learned from John
That is
Campia
tiny.
it's a look.
It's a tiny
camera.
lens.
The lens.
I know,
A giant
and it's
screen.
our job as hosts
To see
connect
past that.
with everyone here.
And I see shiny objects.
You sons of bitches right now. Now Koi's out of focus. He can't see his beautiful self now.
But if I get closer, I can.
Well, look at me.
You know what? It's shiny and bright. It's a bright television with a red coat behind me.
This development, all of this.
This is my villain origin story.
As much
It's
as-
Greg calling me out and like being
Koi's
distracted by
becoming
movement.
Mirror Man.
As
right
much
now.
as I love a dark and
I don't think this. Do they know what we're talking about?
There's a giant TV
we have,
right here.
We have a monitor here.
It's
that
40
we can
inches.
see ourselves here. Yeah.
And then above it is a tiny little
Yeah.
lens.
So if you record a video on your phone, are you looking at the camera or are you looking at yourself?
As much as I can, I'm looking at the camera, but I keep seeing me and it's distracting.
You just look at yourself.
I
talking.
try not to. Most of my YouTube videos have got too high lines. It's very distracting. I'm working on it.
I know it's a No, I'm just giving you shit. A lot of people do it. Most people do it, and I'm not exactly innocent of it either.
very
I'm
hard.
giving it-
quickly to the tune of audience
Sorry.
bloat.
Sorry.
To the tune of audience bloat. As a viewer, I am excited for the prospect of what this new take on Batman will be because I feel like this will be an opportunity. I love a gritty, grounded Batman as much as anybody. I loved the Batman, but I think this will be a nice opportunity to bring some of the fantasy, some of the height, some of the towering deco Gotham back to Batman, and that will suit the shared universe in a way that will then contrast very nicely from we're going to go sit in the rain for 3 hours and be very grounded take, you know.
Yeah.
True.
So
Very
I think
true.
that will be nice thing, and it will probably bridge some of the gap where it'll take like the best of the things the Schumacher movies tried to do, and then they'll
Yeah.
cram it into
Good
darkness.
point. Snap who? Thank you. Restore the damn Snyderverse. Jesus freaking
I was
Christ.
waiting for this.
That took a lot longer than I expected.
It's happening. It'll be in Elseworlds. They'll spend millions upon hundreds of millions of dollars on that.
For dozens of people to enjoy.
Yes. Oh, dozens of
I
dozens.
like the Snyderverse.
Screw you guys. You guys are being
I like
dicks.
the Snyderverse.
I would be
There
so
are more
cool
than
if they
dozens.
bring it back.
I think it could work. That's the thing. Is that Elseworlds, anything goes.
That's the thing that Gunn set himself up for. Is
I think
I'm
the
still holding
Snyderverse-
on. 10, 15 years. Bring back Batfleck and make him do fucking
I would
Batman
love
Beyond.
that. Also, bring back Kingdom Come, Henry Cavill. Make it like there's totally an option for it. If the people that wanted it so loudly weren't so aggressive about it in how they deliver the message, that is a cool message. I would be
Snapu
about
is
it.
not an example of what you're talking about.
I don't know Snapu. I just see Jesus freaking Christ when A Beautiful Slate was announced. Someone complaining about something from the past.
Well, Snafu, you've created a real snafu in this conversation. Let me tell you.
Brandon Joseph, thank you for the super chat. Gunn also opens a lot of possibilities. Bat Family, His Family, Waller's Network, the Creature Expanded Network, etc. All established off-screen so they exist.
Dude, and then your best movies are in your imagination.
That's some of the best world building to me is when, like I think about when I was first watching The Mandalorian, and sometimes they'd mention like planets and shit that I was like, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is, but I'm still so invested
Yeah.
in the show. And I think that's a part of what the experience will ultimately be like. Not like a bunch of wink and nods. Kind of like the name drop of Bloodhaven and Batman and the Batman, where it's not
I love
like
that.
Bloodhaven.
Also, yeah, they didn't make it. It was a sentence like, I'm going to Boston.
It just
like,
makes
it's
it
not,
feel lived in.
Yeah.
And I think that's how a lot of these references will feel, just like lived in.
Versus Eternals, the moment that drove me crazy was like, I knew Thor growing up. And I was like, we get it. Like, I love that Eternals felt separate until they were like, this is in the MCU. Like, let these things breathe.
What's that?
Screw Marvel.
Whoa,
am I right,
wait.
guys? Am I right?
Separate them.
Was that a
Yeah.
complaint about the Eternals from Coy
It was.
Genre?
It was on a
Coy.
DC stream.
Screw the
On a DC
MCU.
stream.
We
There
all
it is.
hate.
There it
We
is.
all
There
hate
it is.
Marvel
That's it.
now.
Coy
That's
has
it.
been lying about his opinion on Eternals. I just want to say.
Yep. That's
Yep, and the Irishman too.
Raccoon Shampoo. Thank you, Raccoon, for being back here. So if the Flash is the reset, we got like a $50 super chat. I saw it. I've been like, where's that $50 one? I want to just otherwise we don't get it. I want to
Retract
I
it.
want to be able to see what it is.
Give some time.
I mean, I can bring it up now.
No,
if you
no.
want it.
We'll get there. So if the Flash is the reset button, it's Aquaman 2 and the Deku. But it's a sequel to the Deku film. So is Aquaman 1 retroactively in the DCU?
I think Flashpoint's going to answer that. I also think that the reshoots they did with Ben Affleck are an interesting question because they were still shooting Aquaman 2 while this stuff was like not yet firmed up. So I don't know how they're going. I think there'll be reshoots. I think Flash is going to decide a lot.
Firm up.
Firm up.
That's
Firm
very.
up.
That's a great point. That's a fantastic point.
Nathan Poliafe.
Crazy. This is only part 1. That is a really great question about the Aquaman, though. Because,
I think it really, like, that movie's out in December for a reason. I kept saying that Flash needs to come out in December to reset everything.
Yeah.
Now I think it's very interesting that they kept the slate the way it was, and that allows Blue Beetle to be a maybe kind of launch point, but a soft launch into what Aquaman is. And I think that Aquaman coming out 5 months, 6 months after Flash gives them a lot of time to
Yeah.
make it in or out.
Sure.
Like,
They
that's a
probably have 2
very-
versions prepped.
Yeah, they probably filmed a ton, and a lot of it's filmed on the lot because the nature of Aquaman is underwater, obviously.
Is
but
blue
that
screens.
also, yeah, so you can film it privately. Like you
Sure.
can do
Yeah,
reshoots without,
true.
and like Momoa is clearly on board because he's making like Instagram excited videos. So like I think it allows for a lot. Maybe that excitement video is him being like, I get an extra $1 million to do as many reshoots as they want. Like it could be anything. So I think that really behooves people that want the universes that they love to continue to see those 4 movies. I think it was very smart of James Gunn to address it at the top. I think they need to make it so people want to see those movies because there's this weird thing where people are like, these 2 hours don't matter. It's only part of a shared universe. Go to the movies that you want to support, and that'll help it be in the DCU if you want it to be.
Was it hard looking at the camera?
It was so hard.
I feel your
small.
pain. I feel your pain, Coy.
Daniel.
Faison
Nathan
Khan. Crazy. This is only part of chapter 1.
I know it's a pretty.
It's huge.
The thing is, if it was like I've just announced 11 movies, that would be insane. But the fact that some of them are TV shows helps spread it out.
Yeah, it feels like an early announcement. Like there are easily
Yeah.
more things that could be on the slate. There,
It's more than I expected.
It's a lot more than
I thought I would
expected.
get like 5 things.
I was thinking 3.
Yeah.
I thought 1 obscure, 1 mainstream, and 1 James Gunn cut. Like,
yeah, I wasn't like, oh wow, this is like Superman, Batman, like this is everything.
yeah, we kept going.
Green
like the video
Lantern.
when I saw
Yeah.
it say 6 minutes, I was like, what's he going to talk about?
Don't
for 6
forget about the
minutes?
4 we got coming out this year.
Yeah.
Faizan Khan, thank you so much. Hi guys, big fan of your channel. When do you think Darkseid will be introduced, and how do you reckon James Gunn will introduce him?
First thing.
Yeah, that's a great question. What do we have on the slate here? Not Paradise Lost for sure. I think it won't be in this first chapter. I don't think,
No,
It's
no,
too
no.
fresh in everyone's
but
memory.
he's got to be part of the super. It could be something to do after like around Supergirl time, if they wanted to do it in this first chapter. But I think there's going to be something other than the fact you have Superman. I think there's going to be intentional staying away from Snyderverse stuff for a while.
Yeah.
But I think, I think you got to have it be with because Darkseid is a Justice League level threat, and so we got to have it be there.
I think it's really smart that James Gunn said that Lois and Jimmy are going to be in Superman because that establishes a very Earth-based Superman, and that Supergirl is doing a cosmic story because that establishes them being as very different characters. And therefore, I think you could start to plant seeds of Darkseid in both, giving you the scale of concern on Earth and then giving Supergirl.
Sure.
But you also don't have to because of that duality. So I wouldn't, but I do think they can if they want to.
But is Jimmy still going to be a CIA operative?
And be killed immediately.
Nathan
Nathan Poliafe.
shut up. Everyone shut up. Nathan Pellepay.
Since DC is about legacy and history, which is what DC stands for, actually, if you didn't know, need Teen Titans and Young Justice after main leaguers are set/successful, static as DC's main teen hero.
Wow, there's a lot of like random love coming in here for the Teen Titans and Young Justice right now.
And Static Shock.
I mean, the love has always existed. I'm just saying, like, I wasn't expecting that to be part of the conversation today so much, but I guess this is what people want. And
I want
think James
only
Gunn will be
teen
listening.
movies. Yeah.
I think that the audience is,
Well,
it's
Young
too-
Justice is really loved, especially right now.
Oh yeah, but I think there's two very different sets of DC fans: people that grew up when DC was already making movies, and then people that like had the Batman movies and went like, "I want more." And so I think that people that grew up with the Schumacher Batmans are like now making them. Like we've become the suits. Like there's people in power that grew up with them, and I think those people had kids that knew Teen Titans. So I think that's their Justice League. So I think that they're going to appeal to those people soon because, like I said, now the suits, the people that are making these decisions are having kids. Like those people are going to want their kids to have their heroes on screen. That's why you see all these, Avengers making these movies that are like, oh, and the Young Avenger, like they're making movies that they want their kids to be able to enjoy. Teen Titans is that audience. I think it's coming.
What's going on here, John?
Garth McMurray, video game idea. Space Cabbie in a Grand Theft Auto style game.
That's how you bring in Lobo. Lobo right there.
That's great. That would be actually
Lobo, Grand Theft
would be
Lobo.
Just a big Lobo in Santa's sleigh because he killed Santa once.
Yeah.
Sure. Oh, that's
is
a
like one of those
DLC.
reference comics,
That's a
yeah.
DLC.
I want that Elseworlds so bad. Lobo kills
David
Santa.
Harbour playing Santa.
Yes.
Shepherd Intolerant, thank you. Maybe we see Brother Eye with Paranoid Batman.
I think Hugo Strange would be a great way to bring in Brother Eye, this whole world of Arkham, and I think Hugo Strange would be a really fun villain. Also a great choice for Dave Bautista if you've seen Blade Runner 2049.
I think Hugo
That
Strange.
beard.
I
Ooh.
kind of want Hugo Strange reserved for Pattinson's
Me too,
universe.
to be honest.
Yeah.
I think he
Strange.
suits that world really well.
Yeah.
Still put Batista in there.
Also, Hugo Strange would be fun to see pop up in Joker 2 with Harley Quinn,
Yeah.
like the psychological element.
Yeah. Also,
That's how you
Brendan
connect
Gleeson
those
maybe.
Swamp Thing.
universes.
Also, Swamp Thing.
also
We just made the Hugo Strange
Hugo
universe.
Strange universe,
We
yeah.
don't need Dark Side.
want a
We've got
Dark
Hugo
Side.
Strange.
We got
Hugo Strange
mad
running
scientist.
crazy experiments all the time.
It's just Hugo Strange turns around and smiles at camera in every post-credit scene like Thanos.
Pradanesky.
Sorry if I missed it, but did you see the next Matt Reeves Batman is called The Batman Part 2 and releases October 3rd, 2025?
I missed that.
No.
What a title.
Did that really happen? I'm excited.
2025?
That's way too long.
That's a wait.
He's already,
It's like
well,
fucker takes his time with making.
It's almost like he makes art.
it's like, it's like he's
Son
very
of a
measured
bitch.
and considered when he makes these
Well, we'll
things.
also have the Penguin show in 2024, I imagine, because they started filming that like in 2 weeks.
That's true.
So
That'll
we'll
keep
have
us
that as a
preoccupied.
gateway, and
Yeah.
then that'll probably because I hear the Penguin shows like the Penguin trying to take the remnants of Gotham and build an empire, and they're gonna have
Yeah.
flashbacks and stuff. So maybe
I'm
it'll
surprised
be
he didn't give any mention of that in this thing.
same. I was a little worried when he didn't, but I think that will be leading into the Batman. Like it might go Batman 1, Penguin, Batman 2.
True.
So maybe that's why it's 2025, if that's true.
Show enough. All right, Trash Boat. I want a Spectre. My
That'd be
dude,
nice.
Spectre.
That'd be nice.
Love for Spectre. I want my Ghost Cop. Let's do this.
For some reason, that's I want Victor.
Zaz.
Slaz. Zaslav.
David Zaslav.
Greenlight it.
And then
Yeah.
Bob Chapek, we could get him in there too.
I think Spectre can work now that you've introduced Hal Jordan in like the third. Of
course.
It'd be very interesting
Of
to
course.
do
I
like
want a Spectre
I don't,
show.
know, I don't know if a Spectre film will work, but I think Spectre could work.
I think like a dark Jordan would be cool to
Sure.
journey into.
Sure.
Yeah.
Especially if he's the McConaughey of the True Detective duo. I'd love like an
Sure.
esoteric, like weird meandering Spectre.
All
Do
right,
it.
here we go.
There it is.
Pentimenti.
There it is. On the ones and twos.
Woohoo!
Little big ass super chat. Is the stream enjoyable still
I'm glad we
for
have that
you
button.
guys?
Yeah, are there 7 people in here who's left?
Let's modulate our voices next.
Ooh.
Let's do Chipmunk.
No. Let's.
Paintimenti.
Wait, are we normal voice?
We are normal voice.
You're
Yes.
positive?
Yes, we are normal
John did a
voice.
whole thing.
Yeah,
No.
I learned. When I got on Harloff's, when I got on SCN that one time, I was accidentally in. It was I think it was either this voice
Or else it was this voice.
And then I learned how to turn those
Oh,
off.
that's
And he
so
was there
funny.
for a long time, and they could not tell if it was a bit John was doing or
I
not.
had no idea. No idea it was turned on.
Oh, I love that so much.
He was there. He was doing that for such a long time.
I was here talking like this.
Yeah.
yeah,
And he
like,
was just talking sincerely, and they were just cracking up, and he had no idea.
Yeah, it
what
was
Like, what a weird
it was
choice
like, do I have
for
something on my
John to make.
face? Like, what's wrong with me?
Anyway,
here?
he says,
They're so jolly.
let's hope this paves the way for a Constantine Justice League Dark movie series game. Constantine in a lot, I mean, especially for Justice League Dark, you got to have Constantine in there. And he's like, in some ways, considered the, I don't know about he could be considered the leader
He's
of Justice
the
League
Batman of the Justice League Dark.
Dark. Yeah.
He gathers them, brings them together, runs things.
Yeah,
I'd say he's the
the
Batman.
assemblyman
Yeah.
for it.
And
It's
I'd
like
say
some people
Zatanna's the Wonder
Some
Woman.
people might say like Captain America's the leader of the Avengers, but then there's Iron Man.
Right, who
Yeah.
keeps it together and funds
Yes,
it.
exactly.
There's
Yeah.
a leader on the field and a leader that
Constantine's
runs
usually
things.
broke.
There's a James
usually
Gunn and a
great.
Peter
Yeah.
Safran.
Yeah,
It works.
exactly.
There's
So
a
I think-
creative and a financier.
Constantine, I think, is going to be our eye line because he's always kind of more. I want a Guy Ritchie actor for Constantine. I want a very Guy. I mean,
Henry Cavill.
maybe from Uncle's
Jones.
Henry Cavill. No, but imagine like a Guy Ritchie Justice League Dark.
Armie
Like that.
Hammer.
Armie Hammer. Now's the time.
Man, Man from Uncle is just a hard thing.
Armie
to say
Hammer,
now.
and whoever's asking for Rick and Morty reactions, now's also the time. All your dreams will come true.
But I do
love
think
that.
that could be a whole corner of the universe. I agree with
Get
that. Paint to
Zatanna
Minty.
in there.
Dude, I've been wanting Zatanna for
They've-
like 10 years.
So they've been talking about making Zatanna very, very quickly. That's part of the past? That's not part of any of this new shit that'll be recontextualized by James Gunn, we should assume?
If you look at what Sony's done with all the things they almost made with Sam Raimi, they've done that with the Tom Holland and like, because you remember
Yeah.
Spider-Man 4 was going to be Vulture. I think a lot of times studios have a script and they go like, what did we almost do? And then they pick the things that work. Because Mysterio was almost like a thing in the Sam Raimi, and then we got Mysterio. If you look at Kraven,
Morbius was almost a thing in Sam Raimi.
and then we got him. So I think that studios and Marvel, like, they joked about Serpent Society, and like that's a rumor right now that we're gonna get them. Like, I think that they plant seeds and then to see if it works. So I could see Zatanna being a rumor that then gets folded into the new thing and make it work. So
I want it.
I think that's
I
gonna
want
be
Zatanna.
a whole corner.
Thank you so much for such a generous super chat. That means the world.
Pentimenti.
Doe Eyes. Thank you. This stream is making my work day so much better. Thanks for all the awesome content, guys. Thank you for being here
There are
and
people still
showing
here.
your support. There are people. I think there's still like 2,500. How many people are still here, John?
Over 2,800 actually.
Nice.
No, actually 3,013 people.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Thank you, everybody.
Why
We
haven't
didn't lose
all of
people.
you left a like?
Come on.
Come on.
Hey, almost. If
helps.
if
Helps get
200
eyes
odd
on
more
this.
of you
We
leave a
just
like.
lost 10 viewers by acknowledging.
We just sassed them.
Al Rensha, if you think Ezra will be back, you are crazy. I think it's yet to be assessed. I
We'll
don't
see how that probation goes.
I don't think they were going to. Here's the thing. I feel like the decision with Ezra has already been made whether or not Ezra will stay. If Ezra is indeed not going to stay, I feel like they would wait to say that till after the movie is out. That way people are like, this is pointless. What's the point in watching this?
We've heard
Yeah.
so much of that already with
Yeah,
all
which is
four of the
bad.
properties.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're going to try to get, those movies.
I think with the way how a lot of actors have been canceled or fired, I just feel like maybe Ezra Miller's situation makes a lot of sense. If Ezra Miller, probably was treated equally instead of just a $500 payment and a year of what's Ezra's?
Is that the thing?
I forgot what it was. It's
I
just
haven't
like a
been
year of
following it.
probation. I've never really been.
Yeah,
I
it's-
lost track of. I was like, I'm just so sick of talking about this
do
person.
some probation, some community
Yeah.
service.
There's been a lot of Ezra videos we could have still done, but I was like, I don't
A
wanna
lot
do
of
it
people have bought
want-
houses off Ezra
I
videos.
don't want to do them anymore.
People
Like,
profiteering
I'm just-
off
I'm
of
sick-
that
I'm
stuff.
sick of doing them.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens, but
I'm like, I'm running out of stuff to say.
this is ridiculous. Maybe don't keep this person in a major franchise blockbuster movie.
We don't need to talk about Kevin.
Trash boat.
I sent a $2 super chat, but I like a Spectre. Okay, thank you.
Spectre.
I like a Spectre
Love
film,
for
kind of like the
Spectre.
DC Direct animated short. Okay, fair enough. And I also want a big Killer Croc and huge Bane, please. Killer Croc is the kind of thing that will work in The Brave and the Bold.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the beautiful thing about separate. That's why I love that concept, because of the fact that, like, you can do a huge, actually, yeah, a more accurate Bane
Yes.
would work for Brave and Bold.
Luchador, oversized,
Oversized
genius.
Venom juice.
Yeah.
Like go all out like
But also
that.
intelligent. You can do both.
Yes.
When Bane is dumb,
Yes.
it's
Walk and chew
completely
gum.
yeah.
But Killer Croc, I think would be if you can bring that to life, that would be incredible. Didn't that movie win an Oscar?
I think it got nominated. Did it win?
Did it
Either
win?
way.
Can you move the numbers over here? You guys don't even know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I just don't want to see that. It distracts me. Then I'm like, oh, how many people left?
It's like looking at yourself on a giant screen. It's distracting.
Okay, we're finding
did.
this out. Yeah,
Best
it won.
makeup.
And
All
hairstyle.
right.
All right, sweet. All right, let's. But yeah, I think Big Killer Croc would be incredible. Killer Croc is not like. He's like a bit of a mobster.
Yeah,
you know,
and he's got that, see? Like he's got a thing, but he lives in the sewers.
Yeah.
He's got
I want him to be just like that in the movies.
Say I'm the Killer Croc.
Yeah,
Say.
see? That's how I've always heard his voice. See? I'm a killer croc.
Scram!
You're gonna be swimming with the fishes and me in this tunnel.
You're gonna be knees deep in a pair of concrete
Gonna swim
loafers,
in it.
Batman.
Where's that movie?
Dan V900. Well, that's the other thing too. Is there's stuff that no one would think about, but like I would love a period piece or something.
Gotham Gaslight, man. Gotham by Gaslight.
Yeah,
you could
or
also
the-
do
or the
Superman
Samurai
Red Sun.
one.
Because of Elseworlds, you can do Superman Red Sun. You can do all sorts of stuff.
Dude, and Dan V900 agrees. Thank you for being here, Damien. Being the Robin is a big disappointment for me.
Nice to get a different opinion here.
I have a bad feeling we won't get Tim, who is a better character. Superman Legacy makes me think we will get John Kent. It's a very good slate, though.
I think we'll get Clark. I think we're going to start off with Clark for Superman Legacy, and I feel like Tim would already be established. I think you can go back and sort of explore these. Where would Tim be by that point in the Damien story? Because it goes.
I mean, Dick would be Nightwing
Dick,
already.
Jason, Tim.
Yeah, Jason would be dead. Tim would be probably, upset with Batman and doing his own thing, like kind of running around because they're not like he retires a lot, he quits a lot. Well, they all do. And then Damien would have to like deal with that, like surrogate son element with Tim. So I could see Tim being like the big brother that like is reluctant to let him in, like in the Bat family.
Yeah, but you see the thing about it too. I feel like it's easier to get on board with a live action Robin now because Robin can be a bit of a debatable subject, but especially when you're doing like a young kid.
Yeah,
I think it's easier to sort of get on board when it's like we've already established that we've had Robins before, and it's his son, and that just makes for a different. It makes for a more interesting, different side of Batman that we've never seen.
Well, 'cause
before.
he
We've only
adopts-
seen surrogate father or adopted father.
Right.
We've only seen that. We haven't seen like this is my biological kid right here.
right, and
yeah.
and that's a hole he has from
Yeah.
losing his parents that we don't really address other than the
Exactly.
flashbacks.
Well, and I think that conscientiously gives you the function of a Robin character, but solves the Ward problem because that
Yeah.
just doesn't happen now. Whereas if it's his actual kid, and I get there's a scrappy do-ness to Damien Wayne to a certain degree as a character, but I think you could fix that too.
But also, Damien's a character you have to reel in from like, don't become the thing I'm always fighting to.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and
My
so-
darkness.
yeah, so like the morals and lessons imposed by Batman, I think, will come from trying to get his own kid to like, don't cross.
Yeah, I mean, I think Tim is the good
Yeah.
Robin. Dick is the one that left, and like the cautionary tale is dead. So
True.
like you've got all these different elements. Tim doesn't go away because Damien exists.
No, exactly. No, they'll still exist. Despair and Ruin. Getting Midnighter and Apollo, the best same-sex couple in comics, is amazing. Billy Eichner as Midnighter and Matt
Bomer.
Matt Bomer.
Where do I know that name from?
He's an American Horror Story a bunch.
People wanted him as Superman for a long time. Real
Yeah.
handsome, very symmetrical face.
Yeah, you've seen Matt Bomer.
Yes.
In time,
Yes.
In
There's a movie I've seen all of American Horror Story, so I know this face. But I'm like, isn't there another movie? Doesn't matter.
I love him as, and
But-
that also is
but
fun to
Matt
play with
Bomer's-
the Superman thing. Like I
Yeah.
love when there's casting that's like, oh, you're a commentary on. So I love the Apollo Midnighter combo there. That's fun.
Oh, but Billy Eichner. I actually really liked Bros a
Yeah.
lot. But yeah, I don't think Billy Eichner could do it. Sure, why
I
not?
don't know his work other than the Billy on the Street stuff, so I feel like and
You haven't seen Bros?
and Bros. I like Bros,
Bros is
but
fun.
like it's way more heart than I expected. Like that rom
Yeah.
com's got they cared.
I know.
But yeah, I think
a rom-com with heart. What?
Only Crazy Stupid Love and Harry Met Sally, and now Bros.
Yeah.
End of list.
Never seen either of those.
Any
Any of these movies. All three of
Have you
these.
seen Like Crazy or Blue Valentine? Those are my breakup movies.
Nope.
Damn it. Okay, we'll go
Let's
through a
cry
list.
to Blue Vote time.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo.
You, me, Gosling, and Michelle Williams.
All right. Deadshot. Want.
We answer that question. But yes.
Great casting.
Yeah. Deadshot. John, take it away.
Want to see a Batman movie with Red Hood as an antagonist, but also can't believe we're getting Damien Wayne. Glad they know to go mature with projects.
I feel like Red Hood, it would exist at this point in time, though.
Chronologically, yeah. Maybe that's the villain or in the background. Like maybe it's a setup for the sequel.
What if they just like totally dick us over? Haha.
Ha
If they totally dick us over and they never had a Dick Grayson, and it's just straight to Damien Wayne.
He's never had a Robin. He's like, I
never
got
had a
this
Robin.
kid.
The
You
first
wanna,
Robin.
You want to be a bird sidekick? I don't know what. I just have this instinct.
I
I
had
got,
Alfred make these clothes for
The
you.
only extra thing on hand is these green tights.
I've
Yeah,
got
yeah.
this weird outfit that I've been meaning to get rid of.
Why'd you choose this? Saw some dead kid at the circus.
Crazy.
His whole family had a great aesthetic vibe. I thought I would. They're not using it now, right?
I've been bird watching because my therapist thinks it's good for me. You look like a robin.
Well, that's. I think. Yeah.
I think we'll get Red Hood in live
think
action.
we
down the
will
road.
get Red
I
Hood
mean,
in
Red
live
Hood's a bit of an interesting sell for live action, but I think you could do a
They
solo.
play off each other really well.
You could
though.
do a solo Red Hood movie.
Well, if Damien represents Batman achieving what
Batman
he
with
wants as the
guns.
father he never had, and Dick represents the kid that left, Red Hood represents the failure he might perceive himself as a
True.
parent that he could then succeed through Damien. So it could be a lot more of a paternal story if he's the first villain, because he could literally be accepting fatherhood as he's fighting the kid that
So you're theorizing right now that Red Hood
is the villain.
maybe be the villain of the Brave and the Bold.
I think it could thematically. I think it'd be an interesting way to
Sure.
catch up on all the Robins. If you're making a Bat family, then he's the most interesting way to make the Bat family about paternal loss.
Yeah, it's very anime too in the way you do it.
Right.
Yeah, I think
So
that'd be really cool.
I think it could work. I'd have a setup villain.
Actually, I really like that pitch.
That's
No,
what
no,
I would
no,
write.
no, no,
I'd
no.
literally have a story of sons and have a family that have different levels of loss, and then you have the ultimate loss come back, and you're looking at yourself as a father while deciding as a genetic father what that means to you.
But I think, don't you, I guess my question would be tonally. I feel like that semi would, like tonally and thematically, that sounds so along the lines of something a little more grim and serious.
Then,
not that I think Brave and Bold won't be serious,
right.
but I think it will
So
be
funny.
a little bit more fun than the Batman.
I agree.
franchise.
No, and,
Yeah.
and it would be very hard to be like, I lost my son. The whole movie. Like, that's a very Pattinson. Like,
Yeah.
but like, I don't know if you can do a Damian Wayne story without a commentary. So it'd be interesting.
You
It's
need to
going to
have
be
a
a very hard
commentary.
tone. It's going to
Yeah.
be a really hard tone to
Yeah,
walk.
because you could make it look like Batman's a terrible dad.
This guy's not a hero at all.
You don't make your son do
You
this.
shouldn't have kids around you ever.
That's an assassin boy. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work.
See, I feel like there'll be some self-aware commentary about that.
Yeah, I think there
About,
has to
like,
be.
stop adopting these kids.
Master Wayne,
Wayne
you
Manor
really
is
must
no
give
place
this
for
a rest.
children.
Yeah.
What a weird hobby.
Let's keep it going. Oh,
Muffin.
Muffin one. What do you think of Andrew Garfield as Flash? He could do it, but I don't want him to. Plain and simple. I've heard this pitch many times.
Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, but Toby would be great.
I mean,
Tom
obviously.
Holland would be awesome.
The Speed Force.
Well, Speed Force is real. Dan V900.
Was that on that stream with you were doing a stream recently where there were a lot of Tom Holland
Yeah,
impressions.
he's mainly Morty.
Morty, Tom Holland,
That's Tom Holland.
Dan V.
Uncharted. Mark Wahlberg. Sully.
There's a Papa John's in this ancient temple in Spain. Oh, gee. Dan V900. Gunn referencing. Thank you, Dan V. Gunn referencing the Morrison run when Dick is Batman, but using Bruce instead isn't good. Dick and Damien work far better together with the dynamic.
Fair enough.
I'm the sentence structure at the
I'm a
end.
little bit weird.
Dick
Dick,
and Damien work
Dick
far
is
better together
Batman,
than-
but using Bruce instead isn't as good.
So is
Oh,
is
the
Dick
image,
Oh,
the
when-
image they
when-
used is Dick Grayson in the bat suit, but I don't think it was implying that Dick Grayson's going to be the Batman. I see what you're saying. There was a time that Dick took on the mantle of Batman. I don't think that's the story they're going with. I think they're going with
There's a time when everyone takes on the mantle.
sometimes
of
you got to be
Batman.
Batman. I've been Batman.
You
George
just
Clooney's
have
been Batman.
Someone take on the mantle.
I'm a Batman.
If
He's
you're
Batman.
Robin at
She's
some point,
Batman.
there's going to be a
We're all
point where
Batman.
you're eventually.
Hey,
A Batman.
You're eventually going to be a Batman if you're a Robin.
Yeah,
So-
like technically, that's I believe if my memory. I haven't read this book in
So
a
that's
decade.
the D right
that's
there?
That's the D. in the suit.
That's the D. All
Yeah.
right.
So if memory serves, that's Dick Grayson as Batman in the moment, but I don't think that's the story they're going with. That's just
That would be
an
bold.
iconic image. It would be brave.
He said Batman though. He's still technically Batman.
Yeah, but I think it's
Yeah.
going to be Bruce Wayne. I wouldn't worry about that.
I just caught what I said. Yeah. all right. Red Hood. We finally got a Robin, and it's the most interesting and best Robin and Damien.
Hot take?
Your name's Red Hood.
Yeah. Have some self-esteem.
Yeah,
all right,
respect your own
Jason
Robin.
Todd. Come on now.
I think that Damien's a very controversial character, which is always interesting. I like Damien, but half the live chat, this chat's like, Damien Wayne's stupid. But, like, that's the fun of the
You-
character.
little scrappy dude.
I mean, Damien Wayne in some ways is kind of like I sort of liken Damien Wayne to Ahsoka Tano's introduction, or some people were like, I don't know about this character, and then eventually, like as the character developed, it became a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
But especially with adapting Damien Wayne into even the animated mediums is often very hit or miss for people. Sometimes it can be very annoying and not
It's a little scrappy
not
dude.
annoying and not compelling. You know?
Yeah,
scrappy
he
dude.
needs
Yeah.
to be written well.
Yeah, because he's a dark character. Most people seem to be Batman overtakes the DC universe again.
Still, here we are.
Mainly
Always.
talking about
There's
Batman.
11 things.
Yeah,
I just like the idea that they were sitting in the back there going, we don't even want to start out with Batman, but we have to.
We gotta
This is
mention
the only
him.
thing people are going to talk about.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
so many Batman comics. They're mostly great, though.
Oscar
Oscar.
Franco. Do you think we'll get Ra's al Ghul or League of Assassins movie in the future with the new Batman? I would love to see it. Yeah, I think that's what
Eventually.
Brave and Bold sets up. They already did grounded Ra's al Ghul for the Dark Knight trilogy. Now you can do Lazarus Pit
Yeah.
resurrecting. I've been around for thousands of years.
Dope
and I
facial hair.
love kicking it around here, and I sometimes resurrect people, and they turn out fucking insane.
I think we get
Like,
Talia,
yeah.
Rash, and Assassins
Definitely.
in that movie.
Definitely.
The first one. Like,
Definitely.
I think you can't introduce Damian Wayne without them. I
Yeah,
also think
no,
they're not going to be called
exactly.
the League of Shadows. We've had the
Yeah.
League of Shadows, but not the League of Assassins in
Yeah.
live action.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's going to be in that movie, and at least the world building of it will be mentioned. Maybe not Ra's al Ghul.
Maybe they'll call him Raish. No one will notice
Yeah.
because they've already had Raz.
It's
Time for
true.
Raish.
Yeah. Josh Dunson. So is Jason Momoa safe as Aquaman? It would appear so.
He's safe at DC at the very least, it sounds like.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Maybe they'll just make him both Aquaman and Lobo and
Like you
call
said,
it a
throw
day.
some makeup on him. It
Yeah.
works.
Talking Reckless. Thank you, Talking Reckless, for Super Chat. Del Toro Swamp Thing
Oh.
plays. Love that idea.
Yep.
What do you think of the Creature Commandos announced lineup? Let's pull it up.
Dude, let's check them creatures.
All right, we got to try to end this in 15 minutes.
Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein. It looks like we got Weasel from the Suicide Squad being
Yeah.
our only known member, which is a fun thing to do.
But this could just be a reference photo.
It could, but it also
Because I saw this photo when I was pulling up photos before.
okay.
But before the announcement happened.
Got it. So this isn't necessarily like a screenshot
No.
of.
Neither, yeah, none of them are. They're all comic book reference photos.
I just didn't think Weasel looked so specifically accurate. That's very much Weasel from the Suicide Squad. I think that's a fun lineup. I do think that would be they'd use an image of their lineup though.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
Could just be a reference.
It could just be a reference. They could change it. Honestly, they could.
Yeah. So far, I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great. I like the. I think the lineup itself is cool. And if it's the same Weasel carrying over
Yeah, and I
from
think
the
they
Suicide
should.
Squad, I think that'd be excellent.
And he made it. Spoilers.
But Del Toro Swamp Thing is a perfect pick, by the way. I think that would bring the exact level of tragedy and fantasy and horror and spooky. It's a perfect pick. Perfect.
Claymation.
Javin Walkers Peters, thank you. I find it interesting that Batman the Brave and the Bold is adapting Batman and Robin and Dick Grayson and Damian Wayne's story. Why do you think Dick's Batman was swapped out for Bruce's? Because of the fact that it's Batman. And I think you have to sort of sell people. You have to watch that transition happen over time before you can sell. That's why I feel like some people are going, maybe we won't start out with Clark Kent as Superman. I'm like, no, we're definitely going to start out with Clark Kent.
Yeah, I think it was just an image chosen. I think they're asking if
The average person will not know.
Yeah.
that's Dick. Like that's clearly not Bruce Wayne. You know, the
that
average.
chin is not this
Yeah.
fictional chin.
Yeah.
I also could be wrong. It might be
But if they-
Bruce, but I think that is a Dick Grayson cover.
But if they do start off with Dick Rabbit, I'd be like, that is a,
What a
brave
bold-
and bold move, indeed.
Could be fun. Could be fun, guys. Ismael Montoya, thank you for being here and for contributing to the chat. All right, Coy, what comics do we need to start reading? Crack them knucks.
Okay.
You
So
got
And
30
look
seconds.
at the lens.
You got 30 seconds.
I'm going to
Say
make
it's the
some
people.
Comic Corner videos, and I'm going to see how many we can crank out. But for now, for here, check out Supergirl, The Woman of Tomorrow, absolutely 100% guaranteed. I would also recommend checking out All-Star Superman, the run by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. The name escapes me. That is absolutely going to be mirrored here. Also, Superman Up in the Sky by Tom King, I do believe is going to be referenced, and that also gives you a little bit of the flavor of that altruism, and it's removed enough. I think those are the 3 Superman stories. I think
Superman
as
for
far
all
as
seasons. Haha.
Thank you.
I should have thrown it out because that was one of my guesses.
such a big book.
I have that.
So good. Such a solid book. So Superman for all seasons. I would also say as far as Batman goes, the Damian Wayne stuff, I personally wouldn't start with the Brave and the Bold ish stuff. I would read like Damian Wayne now because I think he's a little bit more interesting. I think they've found him. So maybe check out the Robin solo title that I think is still running with Damian Wayne. There's
I would
a lot
start
of his
with
mythology.
the 80s version of Brave and Bold before it was Batman first, so you really get the full experience.
The Brave and the Bold, just the title. You're like, this isn't
Brave and
Batman
the
at all.
No, in the Brave and the Bold, we're just like a bunch of random vigilantes.
Just guys, just doing stuff. Just I'm gonna read this book and I don't know what's going
This
on.
doesn't
but,
factor into the movie at all.
But here we are. And
Start watching The Young and the Reckless.
and did it. It's for fun.
Yeah.
Check out Planetary probably before The Authority. Someone was very helpful in the chat. Planetary, I think, is the beginning of that whole universe. Planetary and then The Authority are both exceptional and are really good at showing what an Elseworld can be because they're basically a commentary. What's going to be fascinating is The Authority is a commentary on Batman and Superman. The Authority is an in-universe because it's now consumed by ZDC. Wildstorm was doing commentary on these characters. So we're going to have commentary. It'd be like if The Boys was in Marvel. Like, it's a very interesting thing. So I would read those maybe first before you establish the tone of what you think DC is going to be because it's going to be the most different and disparate. So check out Planetary, The Authority, those 3 Superman books, and Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow as like the first 7. I'd read those first 7. I could do more, but I'm going to say that for Koi's Comic Corner. Get those 7 books. That was like 45 seconds. I'm sorry.
That was
Tried.
beautiful. I loved it, and I took notes.
He's
I'm
ready.
gonna-
I love Superman for all seasons. That book is so good.
Sure. Yeah. I'm not finished with it, so I can't be 100% like I agree with you. But yeah, no,
That's Superman.
I've made it my goal to read. I've read the most in the DC of Batman, so I'm like I should read some more Supermans just because he's the flagship.
Don't worry. Same with DC.
Hey. Faison Khan, do you reckon there'll be a Injustice movie? We got there.
I think that's like a phase 5. Like you have to love these characters for them to feel.
That's an Elseworlds.
Oh, well, it's also like if they're corrupt and you don't love them yet, like the actors, you know what I mean?
Totally an Elseworlds. I think it would be a bomb-ass move if they took our main actors and made it an Elseworlds movie.
That's what
still.
I'd want, though.
That's what would be cool.
Because you need to be invested in them.
Yeah, that would be great because that's a dark ass story. That's like the truest version of Superman going dark, man.
Yeah.
And it would be great. But especially if they follow like the Injustice storyline, like to as close as possible, which is already very cinematically composed.
So like it's gorgeous.
I think that would be neat if they did keep the main actors from their DC timeline.
I also think that you doing these brighter stories is a way to make that more
But
interesting.
there's no way you could just
Not from the gate.
You
It's
can't-
got to
you-
be
you-
later.
Yeah, but even like a phase 5 thing, I'm like, you can't do that to like fucking Superman.
Oh, not main canon. No,
Yeah,
no.
yeah,
But I'm
yeah.
saying you got to be with these characters for like 3 movies.
Superman does some bad things.
Yeah. Yes.
Superman's not a good guy. Yeah.
But it'd be a really fun Elseworlds later.
Yeah, definitely.
Omi Power, thank you so much.
Excited for Booster Gold. What do you guys think? I think we've talked about it a little bit, but I'm excited for it too, and I'm hoping they keep around Cobra Kai guy. Zolo Marakarawacha. Yeah, what's his name?
Zolo?
Zolo what? What's his last name?
Sholo Maraduena.
Nice.
Nicely done. Didn't know it. Sounds great.
Sure.
I just know him Cholo from that great Cobra Kai
That's
show.
respectful.
Yeah.
That's respectful.
Hey, he's got a really cool name.
Nobody learns my last name because my first name's Koi, and I feel bad I've done that to Sholo, but I only know his first name.
Everyone just says
Koi Jamboree.
Jandrew.
Yep, there it is. Jandrew.
Koi
Cholo.
Chandru.
Koi Peanut Butter and Jelly.
True. That's all I need.
Oh, Jordan Garza is back. RQ, thank you, Jordan. And thank you for clarifying. RQ is real quick in Gen Z. I'm going to assume B is best guy.
Coy is 58 years old.
I'm just trying to keep up on the internet. What are these buttons?
There are too many of them. My terrific, I love Sterling, John David Washington, Nate Parker. Look him up. I feel you'll agree for
You know who might pull off
John
Mr.
Stewart.
Terrific? Kid Cudi. Have you seen him act? He's a good actor.
He is a good actor.
I'm just trying to separate my experience with his music. Like, that'd be interesting.
He's a good actor. He's a really good actor.
That's fun. I like that.
I mean, maybe like, I think with Mr. Ravina, it's a bit of you need a nerdy side.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
Sterling K. Brown. Because
But-
Sterling K.
but I-
Brown like puts on glasses. He's a different dude. He'd be a great Clark Kent if people weren't racist.
Yes, I
Like,
agree.
he'd be incredible.
I
He's
agree.
both Superman and Clark now. Like, it works now.
Sure.
But,
sure,
like-
sure.
But nah, I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe I'll take that. I think he could pull it off. I think it'd be an awesome choice, actually.
Yeah, that'd be really fun. I like
think
that a
it'd be
lot.
funny.
Radcliffe could definitely do Miracle. And also, who's your Batman? Strange Adventures one day?
Oh, all this talk, we haven't even pitched our own Batman. Who could be Batman? My God, he'd have to be. I like the pick of Jensen Ackles a lot.
I've been gravitating
If you've
towards
got a
that
Damien
heavily.
Wayne, that also implies that Batman's older than Superman in this universe.
I had Taron Egerton, but I think it'd be too. I think he's not quite right.
No, that's too.
I think he
Still
could
he's,
do it.
he's a young.
Superman's
look about him.
tall.
Yeah.
Sure, he is
I
not a tall guy.
And Batman, if Batman's super short next to Superman, because I like that Wolfgang guy. I was talking
Pedro
about.
Pascal.
He's great. Everybody loves him.
Sure.
Always make Pedro pair up with a younger child.
My
That's right, man.
My three Batmen that I've always
Daddy.
wanted that I never got to see, I think are approaching too old. My Kingdom Come Batman is John Hamm. Always
John
will
Hamm
be.
was exactly what I was going to say.
John Hamm's my
yeah.
Kingdom Come, especially if Henry
John
Cavill.
Hamm.
My younger two are still probably approaching too old. One is like a very debonair Sam Witwer. I think Sam Witwer would be a great Batman. He's got the chin, he's got the brooding, and he's also very talented. And he's got a cool voice.
Freddie Prinze Jr.
And obviously Freddie Prinze Jr. I cast him as also as Scott Free, but I do think Jake Gyllenhaal would be a great Batman.
I think Ralph Macchio,
Jason O'Mara.
Jason O'Mara's great.
Caleb McLaughlin.
Caleb McLaughlin. Yeah, sure.
I-
Get Kyle McLaughlin to be Batman.
Caleb McLaughlin, very much the age to have a child. very, very much Damien Wayne's
David
father.
Harbour.
Just a cast of straight Sadie, whatever last name
Sadie
is.
Sink.
Winona-
Sure.
Winona
Dacre
Ryder.
Montgomery.
Brendan Fraser.
Joe-
You know,
Joseph
actually,
Quinn.
Joe Keery, great Booster Gold.
Oh, sure.
Joe
Yeah.
Keery.
Oh, perfect.
Damn.
Right?
Perfect.
Joe
Damn.
Keery.
Get Joe in
Perfect.
there.
Joe Keery's
Get the
hair
man
as
in
Booster
there.
Gold.
I have a goal here.
While you run through the
Just folks, here we are. They were just, thank you. They were just filming Peacemaker season 2, a block for me in Vancouver. Yeah, who said it was getting canceled? It appears to be Street Shops of Smallville. Spoilers.
Oh, that's cool.
Do you think it'll be part of new DCU?
With the Waller show, yeah.
I think you could probably fudge the continuity of the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
I mean, like, they have the canonical Snyder Justice League show up in Peacemaker, but I think you could even fudge that a little bit,
Yeah.
maybe. So I could see them.
Snap
Keeping
who?
it.
It'd be fun to tie that world in. Like, and I still want Rosenbaum's Lex back.
I would like it too.
Snafu.
I think it's going to be tied in for sure. I think he already factored that in. Snap who? Coy, the insincerity was palpable there. Yeesh.
What was that referencing?
That's when you were like, I like the Snyder movie. Zack Snyder's Justice League.
I do like the Snyder movie and the Snyder the Man, just not Snyder the fans.
Well, he's a Snyder the fan.
I like some of them, but like fans.
That's very
It's-
insincere. Now we're going to get another super chat of him
Yeah.
saying,
If
you
I
saying
keep
that
insulting
was
Snafu and he wants to send in super chat, that's fine with me.
Pentamente.
Well, appreciate the super chat there, buddy.
Thank you.
Do you think they might adapt the Injustice game storyline at all when the new DCU stable is established? I appreciate such a generous super chat, but we did just answer this question thoroughly. We do think it would happen down the road.
Never happened.
Short answer being that it would probably be in the Elseworlds, but it would be great if they still kept the main actors in the main timeline to star in that Elseworlds movie. How to make that clear would be the question. But they kind of did that with the Elseworlds animated stuff. Yeah, got Kevin Conroy playing a bunch of different Batman.
Also, you can start adapting those animated movies as Elseworlds. Like in general, it'd be exciting. Like
Yes,
once you
sure.
establish that they work,
You know, I mean, it's a blunt way to approach this, but why don't you just put a title card that says, "This is not a part of the main timeline of these movies."
I think I think Elseworlds needs
Be
to
part
have
of
a
the-
different studio bumper and also did maybe be part of the title in some way.
yeah,
It
I think
it
it'd be
needs
very.
to say DC Elseworlds, that way people know this is separate.
Or you know what they could
Yeah.
do for the DC bumper? They could just put the connected titles on it in sequential order
Ooh, I'd like that.
or something underneath.
Vinay Patel, do you think it'd be weird that Batman? Thank you for the super chat, by the way. That Batman will be older with his son already, and Superman starting young as a rookie? No. Would Batfleck but wish the two started younger together as rookies? I don't think. I mean, the Superman will probably be younger, but Superman doesn't really age. And but I don't think this Superman's going to start at the beginning. I think he's going to be in already. I think James Gunn even said that, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's going to be already well established, already reporting and stuff. So it's going to be He could be like way into it.
He's
by
just
that point.
younger than the Cavill take. That's all that.
Him
that's
and Lois
referenced.
could already be together and
Yeah.
stuff, you know? Like that. We don't know what point in the timeline it's starting off with Superman, but it's definitely not going to be like, I'm establishing myself and I'm going to protect Metropolis.
Well, and I think that's
Yeah.
something we would have to then look forward to because we're at a point right now where we've seen the origins so many times that we're post that. We're trying to begin things mid-progress. And so I think with this universe, if it forges well and is well received, then 10 years down the line, you can do some kind of massive overhaul reboot and start them out as rookies again when that idea feels fresh.
True.
Yeah.
True.
So, Trey Porter.
Thank you, Trey. Hey, guys. I'm hyped for The Brave and the Bold as a potential setup for the Bat family. Who would you guys cast as Bruce and Damien? We went through our Bruce picks, but let's go through our Damien picks. Finn Wolfhard, Timothy Chalamet.
Aiden
also,
Gallagher.
Coy.
The
Big
kid
fan of the
from
comic
Gotham.
corner. It really helps to advance my comic knowledge.
Hey, thank you, man.
We're gonna be bringing them back relatively soon, and but
There's
yeah,
some announcements
I
that
think
need talking about.
for Damien, you said Aiden Gallagher. I think is a great pick. I personally think that Sadie Sink, Millie Bobby Brown.
Pull up
Gator
season 2,
Matarazzo.
Stranger Things.
The guy who plays
Finn
Lucas on
Wolfhard,
Stranger Things.
How do you say Gator's last name?
Noah Schnapp.
Matarazzo?
Gaten Mazarazzo as Beast Boy.
Gator Mazarazzo.
Matt-
I think
yeah.
any one of them would be great. But John,
Sure.
throw a name in there.
The kid, the kid from Haunting of Hill House with the glasses. Him.
Can we do a
I'll
comic
just
corner
throw
where
him
we
in
just
there.
cast Stranger Things actors as DC characters? The three of
Sure.
us.
I
Let's
think
just sit down
one
and
of our
just do the
comic corners
whole
is going to be
Why
casting.
not?
Stranger Things.
Cast the kid who got his ear pulled off in Mithrigan as Damien Wayne.
Spoilers. Cast Megan.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I think those are great picks. Heather Gear, thank you again for being here. You guys are my absolute faves. I want to hear you pitch for a Granny Goodness show. You see, in
Yeah.
Superman Legacy, Granny Goodness was involved, and I do think that with this Gunn world, Granny Goodness could be. Because I thought Granny Goodness, and like it's technically part of the Zack Snyder Justice League world.
Yeah, but they didn't really.
But there was something about him like that's kind of a weird. It's Granny Goodness. It's a strange character, and Zack Snyder Justice League really dark and shit, which Granny Goodness could work for. But there's got to be a little bit of a bit of a
Self-awareness.
It's not
high
as about
cartoon.
kookiness as it requires.
Because yeah, Granny Goodness is a bit of like on the. She's like an old, larger lady,
And she's very intense and weird.
Yeah.
Like it's a. I think Kathy
But
Bates would be a great.
I
Granny
think
Goodness.
World of. I think you could include her
Or
in a World
character
of Tomorrow.
actress Margot Martindale.
Oh, Margot
Yeah.
Martindale be an incredible. So the show I would do for Granny Goodness, if you want my pitch, is you introduce the New Gods, you introduce Scott Free, Mr. Miracle, Big Barda, and then Granny Goodness is trying to steal their child for Darkseid because he's the progeny, of Darkseid by way of them two. So Granny Goodness like manipulating the literal gods to get her way, and it's like this slow burn because that way you play with the Granny element and the New Gods and all those things, and it'd be a fun way to tell like almost a grim fairy tale through the gods of DC.
So wait, she had a baby with
fan
Darkseid?
casting.
So basically, they have a child, and he's owned by Darkseid because he's one. Because Mr. Miracle being one of the New Gods means that Darkseid has like kind of ownership property of. So he would try to reclaim this child. And then Granny Goodness could be the one trying to like enact it because Darkseid wouldn't do the dirty work. So Granny Goodness trying to steal a child is very like folklore and fairy tale-y, and that would allow you to have someone like Martindale or Kathy Bates play it the way you'd need to. That's the story I'd
That's a
do.
great pick, Coy.
Exciting. Okay.
I'm in the live stream chat watching you guys argue. This is fun. Let's keep it going.
Trey Porter, thank you so much. Would Gunn bring in Plastic Man?
Yes.
Since he was in the Brave and the Bold cartoon show from
totally
over 10
think
years
Plastic
ago.
Man is 100% coming to the DC universe.
Yeah, and so is Ava DuVernay's New Gods.
I think you get Soups to play Damian Wayne.
Let's
Let's go, Batman!
That's the Joker!
He's ready.
Oh my God! Oh. All right, if
Joker!
Boschwa, if this phase, thank you, Boschwa. If this phase is successful, do you think they're going to do Flashpoint again?
No,
Duke's Crisis
But
or
thank you,
something.
Bosch Wash, for being here. But I don't think they'll be doing. I don't think they'll be doing it again.
Do Infinite Earths or something.
Yeah, there might be another Crisis-ish. Like Flashpoint's kind of its own version of a Crisis-ish, but I think it'd be a full-on Crisis.
I feel like if they did another one, it would be like the Time Machine, where he just kind of keeps going back and trying to fix it, but it just keeps getting worse and worse.
Yeah, they might do a more
Yeah.
direct, literal Flashpoint. Yeah.
Ooh, elongated man, Frager on the chat says. I like that.
Yeah, buddy.
Elongated man. That would be amazing. And bring back the guy who was canceled for Elongated Man in the Flash show. Jordan Garza. Hope one day we got the blue and gold plus Miracle Friend. Absolutely. We've talked extensively about that in the stream, and I think it's coming. I think it's coming. Gags. Where did the Blue Beetle and Aquaman movie sit since they come after the Flash, which resets the verse, but the Superman movie starts with a new verse? The Blue Beetle and Aquaman movie, we will not. What do you think, Coy?
I think
Take it away,
I
Coy.
think Blue Beetle, if it is successful to scale, will be the beginning of the Marvel universe in the same way that like the Hulk movie is in the MCU, but it's only like used later. So I could see Sholo getting to play in like a year or two if the movie does well. I could also see where they kind of like let Flashpoint wipe it away. It does sound like Aquaman. I think they're resting on the $1 billion the first one made as being safe, but I think Blue Beetle is canon as long as it does well enough that they wanted to. But also the very low budget, the fact that the suit looks absolutely perfect, the fact that the casting is perfect, there's no reason for it not to do well. So I think they're going to count on it doing well and then therefore folding it into the new DCU.
The
call.
new you.
Smart call.
Brandon Jose. Thank you for being here. Douglas and Rudd as old Ant-Man Pym and young version Lang can be the model for Beetle in DC. Reyes is the young version with Cord being the older with Booster Gold.
That's kind of what I was saying is you could have a different, Blue Beetle because we have Reyes as the new Blue Beetle. He's the first Blue Beetle to audiences that are seeing the movie, but there was a Blue Beetle that preceded him. So if you're doing something involving time travel, like Booster Gold, what if Booster goes from the future to the 80s? And then you've got an 80s set Blue Beetle Booster Gold movie, which would be so much fun because he'd be like looking for attention on social media. It doesn't exist. It's an age of arrogance and big shoulder pads and pomposity. And that'd be really fun to have Booster Gold there and maybe learn his lessons, but also allow for another Blue Beetle that wouldn't mess the continuity of Sholo's.
All right, guys, I'm going to be turning off the super chats right now. We're going to go through the rest of these super chats, but I'm going to turn off the. We're not going to be able to get any more.
Sidra.
Thank
you for
But thank
all
you
of
for
your
everyone who's
generosity.
been here.
Sidra Zaidi, I just joined. Thank you for joining this live stream and for being so generous. So I haven't been able to see the new DC slate. Is there any news on Static Shock? There is not news, but there are lots of hopes and dreams for it. People in the chat have been very enthused. I've been hearing for years about a movie being made. I've been a huge fan of the cartoon. They got to make Static Shock.
We all want it.
Yeah. We
I
all
think
want it.
like I said earlier, Teen Titans
Hell,
Static
reboot
Shock.
the cartoon. I'll be happy.
I'm
like,
there.
Bring back Static Shock some way, shape, or form.
I think the young wave is coming next, and I think it'll be Teen Titans and Static Shock.
Sweet. I like it. Alex, thank you for the momento de silencio. Shavai D, thank you. What are your most anticipated films of 2023? Ooh, an oddball question, a curveball. Personally, my top three are Quantumania, Scream 6, and Transformers Rise of the Beasts. Scream 6, Shotgun, Ghostface, absolutely here for that. Absolutely. I know some people don't like it. I'm here for it. Saw 10, also here for that.
I am really looking forward, obviously, to the big comic book movies. But let's go a little bit experimental here.
My number one of those comic movies is Across the Spider-Verse, but then my two are The Killer, which is the new David Fincher film out in the fall, and then The Covenant, which is the new Guy Ritchie directing both Jake Gyllenhaal and Anton, what's his name from Anthony Starr. Anthony Starr and Jake Gyllenhaal are doing a movie together for fucking Guy Ritchie. So The Covenant, The Killer, and then Across the Spider-Verse.
Mine is 65.
Ooh, that's fun. What's that coming out the same day as?
Oh, Mission Impossible, yeah.
I don't have any interest in Mission Impossible.
Oh, Oppenheimer, too. And Barbie.
Oppenheimer and Barbie,
sounds
definitely.
boring.
Expendables 4 with
Barbie
Iko
looks
Uwais.
like it's trying too hard.
Indy 5.
You're not interested in Oppenheimer?
John Wick 4.
Oppenheimer?
Yeah.
The Nolan film?
You don't like Nolan?
It's pretentious.
Yeah.
This man likes The Irishman, but doesn't want to see Oppenheimer.
Fucking
And he
idiot.
wants-
I was waiting for you to catch it. I was like, come on, dude.
is this real?
You got this, man. You got this.
course I want to see
I was
Oppenheimer.
so concerned for our friendship.
I know, man. I saw I went earlier to a screening of something
Just watch the trailer.
just to watch
So
Avatar, just so I
fucking
could catch the IMAX trailer, and I was like, yeah, this is awesome.
I finally saw Across
Yeah.
Spider-Verse trailer in theaters, and it's a different trailer.
But,
It's so magical.
Let's refresh this, John. And I'm in the regular check. Rogues Gallery fan casting go. I mean, we're gonna do a comic corner for that. You guys are Pitch Coy in the chat.
Oh yeah, pitch comic corners.
Pitch Coy's comic corner ideas. I need stuff to stick in the noggin right
11
now.
episodes, the 11 announcements. What I would do.
Yeah.
Put them in the chat.
Give John a table.
Let
What do
me-
you think this is?
We have room for one table, and it is here where the sound mixing board is. And the,
We should get
and the
those
other
TV
stuff.
tables, those like 80s foldy ones.
We have some. I have some at home.
Those
We
are
have some
fun.
here, I think. Hey, Shividi, Christopher 7. Oh goodness! Thank you for being here and for your generous contribution, whatever currency this is. What actor from Guardians of the Galaxy do you think will make it to the DCU, and in what character? I can see
Please
Chris Pratt
don't
as
do that.
Booster Gold.
Please don't do that.
I think Palm Clementif is the first one to come in.
I'm going to make a TikTok of this. Not even kidding. I think Booster Gold as Chris Pratt is genius and actually could work. I think Batista as either Etrigan or Hugo would be very fun. Hugo Strange. I
Go
think
Strange, please.
Zoe would be a really fun either as Cheetah or there's a few like mystical elements in Zatanna villains that they're not coming to me right now. Cersei, I think, is one of the names. I think
Make her Talia.
Bradley Cooper would be an excellent Hal Jordan. Who else is in that? Vin Diesel is the voice of Darkseid.
yes. Agreed.
Kevin Bacon as Alan. The first.
Give away the whole.
Okay, I'm gonna make a TikTok.
God damn.
I'm just. I love casting.
Jordan.
I know you do. We got to do a video.
Jordan.
Jesus.
That's a preview.
Jordan Garza. Concepts or stories. Thank you, by the way. From Justice League Unlimited, you want to see?
I think that's so far down the line that like I would love to see a lot of the dynamic. The Justice League Unlimited, I think, did really well at having the different power sets play with each other. It showed like teamwork. I always think of X-Men and Justice League Unlimited as like these powers work well together. John and I have only just started the animated DC universe, like the DCAU. But one of the things I have noticed is I enjoy the show's power dynamics a little bit more and how they're cooperative. We haven't gotten to see a lot of that from the DCAU yet. So that's an element I'd love to see.
Karen Gillan as Poison Ivy or
Genius.
Barbara Gordon.
Do
She's my
it.
Barbara Gordon, but you said not to give it away because I've got a whole pitch.
Oh,
Coy.
I like it.
Gosh darn it, Coy. Shavai D. Here we go. Got a hot take. Honestly, James Gunn is very inconsiderate. He could have told Cavill that he wanted to reboot, but he left The Witcher and was so ready to play Superman again, and now he's lost a role for nothing. You know, I get your frustration here, but I don't think I don't know. I mean, given the timing and the bumper cars, like I guess
Gunn
it
had
is
nothing to do with Cavill coming back, or like he pitched a slate which involved a young Superman. That was what DC wanted to do. And then he didn't have anything to do with Cavill coming back. And apparently Warner Brothers was only like half there with it. So I don't think it's Gunn's fault. He said he was going to do a thing. He had to then do it. And like, I'm bummed. I loved Cavill as Superman, but this is a little short-sighted.
as sad as it is. It's just the task the job that James Gunn was hired to do and Peter Safran was hired to do. I just don't think you can upend the consideration of guiding a steady universe for one person. You know, I don't think you can do that. And so as much as people are upset, I think the frustration directly with James Gunn, I think, is a little misplaced.
Like the
because
Doom
there's
Patrol
so
thing.
many other... Yeah, and that was done before we even came in. So I think there's so many conflicting considerations. That's business, sadly.
Yeah, show business. I see that we all see the show, but the business side of it is like this is a giant studio that was like hemorrhaging money, and I really want it to be afloat again. And I think that it'll make all the other studios better because if you have competition, you work harder. So WB
True.
doing well behooves everyone to work harder, and I think James Gunn is going to be the guy to right the ship. And I don't love that Cavill was a casualty of that, but unfortunately it was.
Red Hood's back. Jason as me is great. As Robin, he's the worst.
Oh, I love that quote. That's fantastic, Red Hood. Also, my mom's in the chat. Say hi to my mom. She's lovely.
Oh, Mama Jandro.
She said reining me in is no small feat, and I agree.
It
Love you,
is
Mom.
no small feat, but we love you. We love you, Koi, and Koi's mom. Spud1210, thank you for being here. I'd love a Civil War type Green Lantern film leading into Blackest Night for the Justice League level threat. I think it would be more unique and new. I feel like you have like a whole secret group of friends here. Like Koi and I. Greg's got some way better to
He's
do.
like, I'm going to talk to these people and have fun
I'm
over
just
here.
like fucking around in the actual group chat right now.
No, I mean, more power to you. It looks like fun. Yeah, Justice League level threat.
Just League level threat would be, I mean, I think Sinestro could be, if they do it right from the beginning. I think you plant
Mark
that seed.
Strong.
Yeah, bring back Mark Strong.
Yeah.
Poor guy, did never get the chance. I think Sinestro would be a great opportunity. I think, I mean, obviously Darkseid was kind of done, but the Snyder Cut didn't get a theatrical, so it'd be kind of nice to see Darkseid big and ominous. But that seems like the easy one.
For Darkseid.
Who else would be like unifying? Do you guys have anybody? Because Lex Luthor is really fun for Superman's corner, but I can't see him uniting people to that scale. Deadshot, likewise. Joker's Batman's guy.
Oh, easily calendar, man.
Oh, yeah, he's right there. He's waiting for us. No, Mr. Mixel.
Everyone has to use the calendar, Koi. Everyone uses the calendar.
That's a connecting thing for all of us.
Yeah.
Mr. Mixapillic is obviously the thing they unite to solve.
Kevin Hart as Robin, Dwayne Johnson as Batman.
Done.
Sure.
Rainn Wilson as Riddler sounds great.
I want Rainn
Writes
Wilson
itself.
somewhere in this universe. I think he would be perfect for the kind of cartoon but not quite tone. Rainn Wilson. He can take weird stuff seriously.
Anti-Monitor.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's fun.
Yeah.
Anti-Monitor's a good idea.
Deadshot.
I'm thinking they can have the Batman trilogy slowly gain his Bat family back. This is about him trying to reconcile. Have the first one involve Nightwing, then Tim, and then Red Hood. It's just him making a list and going to their homes, and they all have families, and they moved on. And they're like,
It's like he's doing AA. He goes and
like-
apologizes for a specific
each
list
one.
of things.
Stephanie Brown's there
This
in the
is
whole
part
audience.
of my
Who's this girl,
rehabilitation.
Robin? Stephanie Brown was in like one miniseries, but he has to like go and check in on her.
yeah. I think that would be a really interesting family.
Fire Knight. The real question is, are we getting Bat Cow?
Oh, I'm Granny Goodness. That's me responding to the live stream.
I think if anyone could bring
This
in
is a dual chat.
Bat Cow, it's James Gunn. I think the man
sure.
could bring in Bat Cow, and Elseworlds are possible. Bring it.
Bat Cow Christmas special. I want some DC Christmas specials out of this. That's
I'm
what
telling
I
you,
want.
Lobo Kill Santa is right there.
I'm saying.
I
like,
would watch that. So, and your David Harbour pick. It would be such a fun stunt cast.
I would love an Elseworld, like the one thing from Elseworlds, take weird little one-off ideas, stories, and realize them. Do
Yes.
it. I'm here for it. Oh my Gil, thank
So
you so
hungry.
much. I remember what food
You
tastes
said
like.
the inside part out loud.
Hi all, here because of KoiCast. Oh, look out.
Crossover.
First, yes, that's Dick as Batman. Second, what do you think legacy implies in Superman Legacy? Connor, John.
Gil, great to see you. Thanks for coming over from the audio.
It implies Pa Kent.
It does. Well, I think so. I have a podcast called KoiCast, and I was very excited to come talk about this here, and I pitched that on KoiCast. I was plugging away. We crossed over. Legacy, I don't think ties as directly as I think a son in Connor or John. I think it's way too soon. I think that could be a story told with Cavill. I also think the show on HBO Max having their kids would kind of it doesn't quite work. To do it in the movies as well. But I do think that Legacy will be more about what it means to be Superman. I think it's more about Superman's legacy as you look up to him. I think one of the things I have felt, now that I've seen and I'll totally own this, I didn't watch the Christopher Reeve Superman until the last day of my birthday this year. Like literally,
Reaction
we
on the channel.
We did it here on the channel. It was the last thing I did as a 33-year-old. But I did immediately notice a sense of wonder and a sense of looking up and scope and awe, even for a 45-year-old film, that I don't think we've seen to in the earnest, open, optimistic way. And I think legacy implies like what a person has done in the past to build a history, a legacy. So to me, it's more about what Superman has accomplished and who he is and leaving a legacy than his children, personally. And that was Dick as Batman. Thank you. I thought so, but I wasn't
Can
sure.
you update the chat here?
Sure. Disney fan wants to know what would happen if Greg, John, and Coy were the boss of DC Studios.
Ooh, Rosenbaum would definitely be back as Lex, and Glenn Howerton would definitely be Reed Richards because I'm running both.
My
we
wing
got
would just have
Is
tons
our
of
last one?
I'm ready to be Green Arrow. I'm ready.
Sure.
Is
we
it?
will have to refresh once more.
Why don't you refresh it right now?
Okay. Yeah, if my DCU would just have lots of Spectre, Swamp Thing, and Solomon.
K-Love, I've thought about being a casting director, but I was once an actor, and I remember the feeling in that room, and I would want to give everyone the part, and that's not how it
Everyone
works.
the
I'm
part.
way too I would love to help you to do the telling no to 99.9% of people.
So that is the last one.
That is the last one.
All right, perfect.
But thank you.
Paul, the
Paul.
true believer. Yo, fellas, we are getting a longtime DC character, Sergeant Rock, and the Creature Commanders. Can't wait.
Yeah, Sergeant Rock being probably soon to be a household name is so crazy because that's, I mean, if memory serves,
I'm having my whole other show here.
Excuse me.
In just the let's
Just
put that-
this.
Yeah. So, Sean, put it in the super chat. Thank you, Paul, the true
Put it away.
believer. Put it in the super chat. And just bring up the regular chat.
Sure.
Because this is, I'm like, I
You've
don't
been
think
living
people
here.
in the chat have been paying
just you.
attention to the conversation.
If memory serves, Sergeant Rock
But
was
you
an
go.
OG Kubert character that one of my favorite artists, the Kubert School of Art. I think Kubert did art, but Sergeant Rock is like an OG DC character, so it's exciting to have the idea of that character as something as a household name. But I don't even remember him that well, so I'm very excited because Sergeant Rock is like a very formative character for comic books themselves. So very, very cool.
No,
What
keep
was your-
talking.
I was trying to join your show.
No, please. My show exists right here.
Oh, okay. It's
We
more
did
of a message board.
Q&A in the chat.
Oh, what did we?
Yeah, and yeah, what DC are most people excited for?
Mm-hmm.
Superman Legacy. Some
Okay.
people say Swamp Thing.
Okay.
It's funny. People didn't write a lot of direct answers to
Yeah,
this
we
question.
I was like, I did.
People just asked questions to the question.
There's just more quandaries.
Guys, the question: do you think James Wan will do any? Here's piggybacking off of what Thiago Gadinmo said. Do you think James Wan will continue DC projects?
I think they, have a good relationship with James Wan because I think, Aquaman being kind of folded in is probably a good thing for their relationship. And it also means they have a lot of faith in the movie. I think it would have been a lot cleaner if it wasn't good to put it before Flashpoint and have Flashpoint end everything. So it must be good. So I feel like James Wan would want to work with a studio that's like, here's a great time slot in a great year that starts a thing. Like, I feel like that's a no-brainer. Also think he's a great director, so hopefully. I'm a Superman guy. Now there are two of us. This is a lot. Wow. Yeah, chaos does reign.
Yeah, man. Dude,
Well, hey, we
fire
did it.
James Gunn.
I mean, he totally didn't do
Yeah,
his job
man.
with these 11 fucking great announcements.
He had one job to do today, which was to put some respect on Henry Cavill, and he didn't
He
do
just
it.
failed completely. Now, I was really impressed with that presentation, and I don't know, that was great.
He's
All
a
right.
poised guy. You gotta give it to
Coy
the
would be a
Gunn.
great young commissioner.
I would kill it. And Bryan Cranston is the older one. Me and Bryan Cranston is Commissioner Gordon.
Alrighty, guys. Well, here we are. We're gonna wrap this stream up. There's a bunch of live streams going on all at once right now.
Hey, we did great.
But who's still live? I know Campia is more than likely live. I'm gonna just do a quick round of checkups here.
Yes.
Campia definitely live with 10,000 more viewers than us.
Let's pipe everybody's live stream into the live stream.
Grace Randolph. Let's look here. Oh no, her live ended. Weak, Grace.
Doesn't
Come
she
pick
like
up the steam.
Doesn't she like hate James Gunn? She'd probably just like.
She doesn't hate James Gunn.
Oh, I thought it was. Oh no, that's the Patty Jenkins.
Because they go
right?
through the bleed and stuff. I just
So much is happening.
So much Burnett.
It's all happening right
Jabby's live.
now. Jabbis Kablabis.
All right, guys, I'm ready to call this.
Are we gonna watch us
Never.
watch other reactions?
Let's
Do you
watch
wanna-
ourselves
Would
back
you like us
now.
to react?
Oh, sure,
to,
sure. Yeah, I can pull up
Robert
the
Meyer Burnett
stream.
reacting.
How's Heavy Spoilers video doing?
Check love
Damn,
what they're
it's
doing.
killing it. You're gonna go trending, Paul.
When has Paul ever gone trending?
Paul never goes
Name
trending.
one time.
All right, guys, for real, gotta call it. Got other things I
The
gotta
man's
work on
gotta
today.
eat. And there's a full
And I
day
gotta
ahead of
There
us.
we go. Now it's meta.
All righty, guys. Well, thank you so much for being here. On your way out, if you could leave a like, that'd be very much appreciated. Thank you to all who contributed to the Super Chats. Thank you just for being here in general. And, yeah, this was a fun day. I had a great time. I hope you guys had a great time. I hope
Yeah,
you
it was
all
a
had a
blast.
great time. It's been a while since we've done some random live like this, so this was fun. And I hope you all have fun. Can't wait to talk some more about this. It's going to be a year to 3 of speculating and more so.
Go
Gotta
read
get
some
more
comics.
Koi's Comic Corners in there. All right, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, buddy.
Thank you for being here. Thank
Peace
you.
be with you.
I will have to go back in my